KWFM Tucson.
Shattered bat bouncer down the third base line. Fair ball. Bard in foul territory. Jump throws. He got him. Wow. Play. Oh, my goodness. Bard was 15 feet into foul territory. Jumped and threw on one hop. And Connor Jackson with the stretch. That is phenomenal. And then a throw pitch is driven to deep left. Way back there. Up above the bullpen and gone. A grand slam for Carlos Clinton, and the Sidewinders just keep it going. 16-0 Tucson, and that pitch was killed. Here's the pause by Bogdank. Runners don't go, and a curveball is grounded into right field for a base hit. Green headed to third. They're going to wave him around. The throw will come to second. Green will score, and Coda's RBI single has made it 6-2. Well, and hi again, everybody, from Tucson Electric Park. We welcome you to Sidewinders Baseball tonight. A couple of first-place teams open a 4-game series as the Sidewinders welcome in the Salt Lake Bees. It is great to have you with us. Ryan Radke with you at the ballpark tonight. This should be a very good series. Salt Lake, the first-place team in the Pacific Northern Division, 34-24. 4 games up on the Portland Beavers, the team that Tucson just swept. The Sidewinders now 35-25. They're a game and a half up on Las Vegas. Pitching matchup tonight, Dustin Mosley will go for Salt Lake. He's 5-3 with a 2.88 ERA. Tucson will send out Adam Bass for his fourth start. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 2.04. So it's Bass against Mosley, Tucson against Salt Lake tonight. When we come back, we'll talk to one of the guys who has been very hot for the Sidewinders offensively. He had the game-winning hit against Portland on Tuesday night. That's Brian Barton. He's our guest when the On Deck Show continues right after this.
I need it quick.
Spring is a great time in Tucson and southern Arizona. And for everything you need for picnics, barbecues, and other outings, remember your friendly neighborhood Quick Mart store. At Quick Mart, your favorite brand of beer is on sale every day, and you'll always find weekly specials on soda, chips, and snacks. Remember, Quick Mart is always open for your last-minute party needs. And don't forget the ice. Quick Mart, serving Tucson for over 40 years, is a proud sponsor of U of A Athletics. Go Wildcats! Quick Mart. There's a store near you.
I need it quick. I need it quick.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
And welcome back to the On Deck Show. Our guest today, Brian Barton, as Tucson and Salt Lake get set to open up a 4-game series here tonight. And, you know, Bardo, this series is kind of interesting because the last time these two teams played, Salt Lake was on an unbelievable tear. You guys were struggling a little bit. Now both teams come in playing well. Do you figure that this series will be a little bit different than when you saw these guys earlier in the year?
Oh, exactly, yeah. We're coming in hot, and, you know, these guys are hot as well, and it's going to be a good comparison of teams that could possibly meet later in the playoffs. And, you know, it's going to be a fun series to play.
No, I know a lot of times in football and basketball, teams will talk about, boy, it feels like we owe these guys. In baseball, I don't know. I mean, you see these guys 16 times a year. Is there that feeling that, hey, they've beaten us 6 out of 8, we owe them one, or is it just not maybe as intense as some of the other sports when you see that?
I don't think we see it as that. We just want to go out there and, you know, play solid. You know, win 3 out of 4. That's a goal at any time. I don't know. We don't think we owe them. You know, we see them as a good team. We want to go out there and play a good series.
What has impressed you about this team from when you saw them earlier in the season? What maybe caught your eye about Salt Lake?
I think everything caught my eye. They had solid defense. You know, these guys are very good hitters. They put the ball in play, and they got good pitching definitely. And they lost a couple of their pitchers, but I'm sure their bullpen is just as solid as it was the first time we saw them. And you know, it's just a solid club all around.
All right, you guys right now, as you mentioned, you're playing well right now. Really, everybody on the team is going good. How much fun is it right now to be a part of this club with a lot of guys finally maybe realizing that potential that they have? Exactly. Yeah, I know it's fun to go out there every night and have the possibility of winning. And right now everybody's swinging a good bat and all the pitching's coming through, and it's just fun to be a part of this club right now. How has the atmosphere in the clubhouse changed maybe over the last month from the start of the season to where it is right now? It's definitely a little bit on the higher side. We've had good chemistry as a team as a whole the whole season, but as the team came together a little bit more as we started winning and playing better, it's definitely a better atmosphere in there. You guys are coming off a sweep of Portland. It was a pretty good team coming in, and you guys won 4 straight. You had the game-winning hit the other night. It's really been fun to watch you guys in late innings this year. And you had that hit the other night after a comeback win. Can you talk about maybe just the confidence level of this team? That even after you had a lead early, Portland comes back to take the lead, and yet you guys remain calm, confident, and able to win in extra innings. Yeah, it's I think going back to the Albuquerque series when we had a couple of games where we're tied late in the game, and we had that calm attitude, and we got the big hits, and we've carried it over in the last couple of series, and We know we're good enough. We have good enough hitters where we don't have to panic. You can go in there and have some good at-bats and just, stay positive in the late innings. Tell me about your at-bat the other night when you come up. The bases are loaded. I mean, the outfield's in. You're just trying to put the ball in play there, I guess, to make sure you get the run in. But kind of give me your mindset going into that, AB. You just said it right there. I was just going up there and had one out, and I was just, the outfield was in, and I was just trying to put a decent fly ball in the outfield. That's all I wanted to do. I was just going to put solid wood on the ball, not try to do anything special. Certainly you've been hitting the ball much better as of late, and I don't ask this to take anything away from you, but how much does it help that everybody in the lineup seems to be hitting right now, that with everybody contributing, does it make it easier on individuals? Yeah, definitely, because, pitching they're not going to pitch around one certain guy if the other guys aren't hitting as well around them. It makes it hard on the opposing pitchers to know that another guy behind you is hitting just as well. It puts a lot of pressure on those guys and makes it a lot easier on the hitters. How important has the top of the lineup maybe specifically been, especially Kai Aspo, who got off to a really slow start kind of like you did, but has been coming on and getting on base all the time? Yeah, it's good because he gets on early in the game, and that's when we score a lot of runs. He seems like he leads off every game with a hit, and especially with Harrison doing as well as he is, and Chris Young, just driving in the runs and, getting the early lead is big for going into the later innings. We always talk about pitching and defense, and especially in big series like this. Let me ask you defensively right now. Obviously, the infield is in a little bit of rough shape. How tough is it right now to play this infield when you really don't know how the ball's going to react? I don't know. It's not any different than when I was growing up playing in high school and college. I played on the same kind of fields, and you just got to have that mindset where you just got to go out there and play it like it's normal. You can't really think about those things. If you start thinking about those things, they're obviously going to cause some mental mistakes, and you don't really have time to worry about stuff like that. All right, you talked a little while ago about being able to win series. Is that the mindset going into this series and almost every series you play, that if we can take 3 out of 4, we're in pretty good shape? Yeah, every time you want to go out there and win 3 out of 4, and if you get 2 out of 4 in A, that so be it. You played a good series still. We can't, obviously not going to sweep every series, but it's definitely that's the goal, to win every game. But 3 out of 4 is where we're aiming. Any more importance on this series because it's a first-place team, and you guys will be going out on the road in a couple of days? Yeah, exactly. This is a big series. This is somebody that we could potentially play in the playoffs, and it's right now Vegas is playing just as well as us. It seemed like, did they sweep the last series? I don't know, but it seems like they're playing just as good as us right now. You gotta match whatever they do so we can keep our lead. All right, you did mention that they did sweep that series against Sacramento. How much scoreboard watching is going on? I know it's early, but are you paying attention to what they're doing? Yeah, obviously going to pay attention. We're only a game and a half out, and it's pretty close right now. And early in the season, you don't want to, but you can't help it. It is fun to do. Bardo, it's been fun watching this team lately. Should be a good series here. Thanks very much for the visit. Thanks, Ryan. All right, that's Brian Barden. We'll come back. The starting lineups are next on Cool 1450.
It's a dream come true. Mounds and mounds of crab legs. As many as I want, and no one's going to stop me. And shrimp. All the shrimp I can eat, dipped in drawn butter or dipped in cocktail sauce.
Honey, wake up. Let's go to Desert Diamond Casino. It's all you can eat. Honey, that's the window.
Monday night dinner will never be the same when you make it the Desert Diamond I-19 Seafood Spectacular.
Honey, where to put my shoes?
It's all you can eat, so eat all you can. But you might want to save room for the desserts.
Did you move my car keys?
There's fish specialties, roast beef, vegetables, dessert, and seafood. Lots and lots of seafood.
I can't find them anywhere.
And it's only on Monday nights from 4 to 9 p.m. And here's the kicker. It's only $12.85 per person. So join us Mondays in the buffet only at Desert Diamond Casino I-19.
Honey, we could have taken my car.
An enterprise of the Donna Automation.
Sidewinders fans, if you're looking for the best value in wireless, look no further than Singular. Only Singular offers you rollover, which allows you to keep your unused anytime minutes month after month for a full year. And now Singular wants you to catch this great deal. Get $25 off any phone and a free accessory up to a $29.99 value with a new 2-year service agreement. Stop by Singular's booth during the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home games, or visit one of the 5 Tucson store locations any day of the week. Hurry, this is a limited time offer, so act now and start enjoying rollover minutes from Singular. Singular, raising the bar. Back for its 4th season, it's the Little Snake Sidewinders Kids Club for ages 3 through 12. Membership in the club is $5, and kids receive a membership T-shirt and card, as well as free admission to 13 Kids Club games and 1 bonus fireworks game. Discount pricing on Kids Corner activities and Team Shop merchandise will be available during the Kids Club games. Members will also be invited to an exclusive mid-season party with Sidewinders players. Call 434-1021 for more information. Don't delay. Call today and join the Little Snake Sidewinders Kids Club.
Welcome to the Sidewinders Scoreboard Show, brought to you by the Paul Ash Management Company and the Take a Birdie Apartment. Stay tuned for game highlights and scores from around the Pacific Coast League and the Major Leagues, coming up next on your Sidewinders station, Cool 1450.
Getting set for the first of 4 between Tucson and Salt Lake. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Bees and manager Brian Harper. Reggie Willits leads off in left field. Meiser Turris is the shortstop. He'll bat second. Darren Erstad in center field bats third. Howie Kendrick is the second baseman. He'll bat cleanup. Nick Gorneau is in right field batting fifth. Jeff Mathis behind the plate will hit sixth. Mike Elward is at first base. He'll bat seventh. Curtis Prime, the DH, bats eighth. And Casey Smith is at third base and batting ninth. For the Sidewinders, Alberto Callaspo leads off at second. Chris Young is in center field. He'll bat second. Stephen Drew, the shortstop, will hit third. Scott Hairston is in left field batting cleanup. Chris Carter, the first baseman, hits fifth. Carlos Quentin is the DH tonight, back in the lineup. He'll bat sixth. Brian Barden, our pregame guest, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Kenny Perez is in right field. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth, it is the catcher, Robbie Hammett. On the mound for the Sidewinders tonight is right-hander Adam Bass, making his 4th appearance and 4th start. He's 2-0 with a 2.04 ERA. Bass has worked 17 2/3 innings, given up 16 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He has walked 11, struck out 13, and the league hitting .239 against him. So we're just about set to go here tonight at Tucson Electric Park. Right on schedule for this 7 o'clock start. Tucson and Salt Lake, first of a 4-game series. And the first man that will stand in against Adam Bass is Reggie Willits, the left fielder, batting at .305 with a homer and 28 RBIs. Switch hitter in there from the left side, and Bass with a first pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Sidewinders and Bees have already met in 2 series this year. Salt Lake has won 6 of the first 8 games. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch, and that's a fastball over the outside corner for a strike. And the count, 1-1. Was a 7:03 first pitch of the ballpark tonight, 97 degrees with barely any wind. Bass into the windup. Here comes the 1-1 delivery, and Willits takes the fastball over the inside corner for a strike. And the count is now 1-2. Bass will throw a fastball, slider, and a split finger. Told you about the split before. He uses that as his changeup. He is working to develop it more as a strikeout pitch. And the 1-2 home is a fastball that misses in. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. That'll be interesting to watch, as we talked about on the On Deck show as this series goes on, how these two teams match up with each other. Obviously, Tucson, a very different club than when they met earlier. The 2-2 is lined foul back into the screen by Willits, and it'll hold 2 balls and 2 strikes. Salt Lake, also a different team, although this Bees club continues to play well. They have seen a lot of guys go to the major leagues. Talking about Eric Ibar, Kendry Morales, Dallas McPherson, Mike Napoli, Jared Weaver. The list goes on and on. Another 2-2 pitch to Willits, low and inside with a fastball. And the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. All those guys have gone up. All those guys have performed pretty well at the big league level. But meanwhile, Salt Lake just continues to win. 3-2 the count on Reggie Willits, and Bass with the pitch. It's high, it's ball 4. Willits draws a walk, and certainly not the way Bass wanted to start this ball game, putting Willits aboard. And Willits, a guy that can certainly steal you a bag. He is 14 for 23 this season. Now, it's a little bit different look for the Bees. When we saw them early in the year, you had Ibar and Kendrick in those top 2 spots, and that was dangerous because those 2 guys just ran wild. Now, Willits will run, but probably not as much as those guys did, as Meiser as Turris stands in, and the first pitch to him is over the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Is Turris down here on a rehab assignment with Salt Lake? He has played in 8 previous games, batting .333, no home runs and 5 RBI. Standing in from the left side, another switch hitter. Pass from the stretch, checks Willits. A long pause now, and Willits bluffs, doesn't go, and as Turris pops it up. Shallow center field, Drew is out onto the outfield grass, calling for it. He will make the catch back of the bag. Willits has to retreat to first, and there's one away. So Bass able to retire the first rehabber he sees. Now he'll try his luck against Darren Erstad, playing in center field. Erstad is in his 4th game now with Salt Lake. He is 1 for 11. He has not homered. He has not driven in a run. Erstad joined the Bees for their series out in Fresno, but in the game on Monday, he took himself out early. He's rehabbing an ankle injury, and his ankle felt a little stiff, so he took himself out of the ball game. But in the starting lineup tonight, in there from the left side, and Bass brings his hand set right away from his chest. Another long pause and a toss over to first sends Willits diving back into the bag. Erstad wearing his red Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim batting helmet. Also has his red batting gloves. He's even got red socks on. So Erstad's got half the Salt Lake look and half the Angels look. Got to tell you, it doesn't really go together, but I don't think Darren Erstad really cares about that. He's just trying to get himself in shape and get himself back to the big club. Facing young Adam Bass with Willits leading away from first base. And the Tucson righty kicks and deals, and a high fastball is ball 1, a snap throw to first, and Willits again dives back to the back corner of the bag. Now, when these two teams met earlier in the season, despite the fact the Sidewinders didn't win very much against Salt Lake, Mike Parrott felt like his catchers and his pitchers really did a good job against the Salt Lake running game. Now, Bird was the first to say, look, they're going to steal some bases. You can't help that. But he thought his pitchers did a good job of really making the runners work, and the catchers did a good job of getting the ball down to second base in a hurry. And when you play this Salt Lake team, you have got to be able to contain the running game. You can't shut it down. You've just got to be able to contain it. 1 ball and no strikes here on Erstad. Standing in the very back of the left-handed batter's box. That resting against his shoulder now brings it up into a ready position. Bass with the 1-0 delivery home, and that's over the outside corner for a strike. Looked like a changeup. And the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. Sidewinders going with their black BP tops tonight with cream-colored pants. Sidewinders across their chest in copper and all black caps. Salt Lake in their road grays, gray tops, gray pants. Salt Lake across their chest in black, outlined in gold. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Bass. And Erstad swings and foul tips it back into the mid of Hammock. Looked like a high splitter that time. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So interesting, we saw this Salt Lake team early with all the prospects. Now they're all up in the big leagues. Now we see them this time with the rehabbers trying to get back to the big leagues. It is Turris and Erstad. And you can't say enough about what those young guys have done when they have gone up and what the guys that remain here continue to do on a daily basis. Bass checks Willits over at first base, and the 1-2 delivery is chopped back to the mound. Bass has it. He fumbles it. Now he'll have to throw to first. Erstad is out there, and Willits gets in at second base. Well, that was right back to Adam Bass, and as he turned to second base to take the ball out of his glove, he couldn't get a hold of it. And so he wisely decided just to go to first base, but now Willits is in scoring position. Won't be an error. It'll merely be a 1-3 putout. And with 2 away, now Bass has to deal with the dangerous Howie Kendrick. Well, that's why you want to get the double play there if you're Adam Bass, because the last guy you want to face right now, and that includes his Turris and Erstad, is Howie Kendrick. This man is a professional hitter through and through. Pass with the first one to him, and it's a slider over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Kendrick batting at .396, 7 home runs, 40 RBIs. If you look at the league batting race, not only is Kendrick in the lead, he's in the lead by 21 points. The 0-1 delivery home, swinging a foul back into the screen. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Kendrick with that 396 mark. Mike Vento of New Orleans is next at 375. Then it goes all the way down to Chad Allen of Omaha at 339. So Kendrick is dominating right now in the average race. Down in a 2-strike hole, though, here as Bass comes set, glances back at Willits. Hammock sets up outside, and the pitch. It is outside with a fastball. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Kendrick, a guy that has hit at every single stop he has had in his minor league career. A ball, double A ball, playing in the Arizona Fall League. Wherever he goes, hits seem to follow, and a lot of them. Here's a 1-2 pitch to him. In the dirt through the legs of Hammock, back towards the screen, and down to third goes Willits. So that's going to be a wild pitch, allowing Willits to go to third base. It'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kendrick. Last year, Howie Kendrick hit 367 between Rancho and Arkansas. It was the second straight year he hit 367. He also had that mark at Cedar Rapids in 04. The average last year was second in all of the minor leagues. Only Rick Short playing for New Orleans, and his 383 mark was better. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to him here. Now can Bass retire the dangerous Kendrick with a runner at third. Salt Lake threatening to jump on top here in the top of the first inning. First of a 4-game series between these 2 first-place clubs. Bass with a ball behind his back in his right hand, now brings it into his black glove. Hammock sets up inside, and the pitch, swing and a pop-up right side, drifting off towards the seats. That'll get out of play, and we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, we talk about what Salt Lake has done and weathering all the call-ups and the roster movement, everything that they've had. You look at Tucson, they were 4-11 to start the season. Salt Lake beat up on them both here in Tucson and in Salt Lake. And the Sidewinders now have rebounded and are playing very well. As the 2-2 home to Kendrick is swung on and floated into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. In to score is Willits. And Salt Lake does indeed jump on top, 1-0. Howie Kendrick with a base hit to left. It wasn't a bad pitch at all by Adam Bass in on his hands. In fact, Kendrick may have broken his bat, but got enough of it to dump it into shallow left field. He gets his 41st RBI of the season. So the failure to turn the double play comes back to haunt Tucson as Salt Lake is out in front. And now here is Nick Gourneau. Gourneau, the leading RBI man in the league with 46. And Bass with the pitch, and it's down low. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. So a hit and a walk along with a wild pitch produce a run for the Bees. Gourneau batting from the right side against the right-hander Adam Bass. Kendrick leading away from first base. He can run a little bit. 6 for 9 in stolen bases this year. And Bass ready. He will toss over to first, and Kendrick goes back in standing up. Well, Tucson has been swinging the bats well. There is no doubt about that. A 6-5 win in the finale over Portland on Tuesday. They put up 11 runs on 2 different occasions in that series. And they are facing a tough pitcher, though, tonight. They don't want to give up too many early as the pitch to Gourneau is chopped down the third base line, but foul. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bass, in his last start, was the recipient of some nice run support. That was the opener of the series against Portland when the Sidewinders put up one of those 11-run nights, won by a count of 11-1. Now Bass, for his part, has really been pitching well, where he hasn't needed a ton of run support. His last 3 starts, 2-0, and his ERA is .69. Over his last 2 starts, make that. Here's his 1-1 pitch to Gourneau, and that's down low. And the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Bass in his second start with Tucson against Fresno got 7 runs of support, including 2 in the first inning. He's given up 1 in the top of the first, trying to retire Gourneau. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, fastball that missed low and inside. Now the count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Gourneau with Jeff Mathis waiting out on deck. Well, a dangerous pitch coming now to Gourneau. He's already got 8 home runs, leads the league in RBIs, as I mentioned. And he is going to be sitting on a fastball here from Bass. Adam sets, Kendrick goes, and the pitch is swung on and flipped down the right field line. That's fading towards the seats, and that's going to be out of play. And the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And if Kendrick was running 3-1, you know he's running 3-2, especially with 2 outs. He was all the way around second base on his way to third when that ball dropped into the front row. So he'll jog back across the diamond to first. Jim Eppard, the hitting coach for Salt Lake, is the first base coach. Ryan Harper, the manager, over at third. Harper very aggressive with his team, not only stealing bases, but trying to get runs across, waving them in. Here comes the 3-2 delivery to home plate, swinging a pop-up back over the screen down into the seats. And we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Salt Lake has been a very good team on travel days this year. Now, this is the first game of a series, and I guess technically you would consider it a travel day, even though the Bees actually got to Tucson on Tuesday night. They finished up in Fresno with a day game Tuesday, just came out here to Tucson, sat in the hotel yesterday, and now here tonight another 3-2 pitch, low and outside, ball 4, and Gourneau draws the walk, and runners will be at first and second now for Jeff Mathis. So the Bees have been in the old Pueblo for a couple of days, but if you look at what they have done on travel days this year, they are 7-1. The only time they lost on a travel day was when they went to Las Vegas. That was on May 26th, and a lot of teams that go to Vegas lose. Usually it's not the travel day that gets you, though. It's the rest of the series after you've had time to enjoy the Vegas nightlife. Second walk of the inning issued by Bass. Now Mathis will get a chance. Mathis batting .280, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. Saw him last year with Salt Lake. Started this year with the Angels, but really struggled to the plate and was sent down. Bass with the first pitch to him. Swing and a miss. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Looked like the splitter from Bass. Jumping ahead of Jeff Mathis. Mathis was not only supposed to make the Angels team this year, which he did, but he was supposed to be their primary catcher. Things just didn't work out for him. As Bass sets in the 0-1 pitch home, swinging a bouncer down the third base line. Fair ball. Barton has it back in the bag. Turns, throws the first in time. Oh, they're calling it a foul ball. Boy, that looked fair to me. And it must have looked fair to Barton because he fielded that ball and spun and made a great throw to first base. But apparently they're going to say it just went foul. Well, tough to see from our angle here, but that looked to me like it went right over the bag. And Barton robbed of the opportunity for a fabulous defensive play. The count, no balls and 2 strikes now. And you hope that doesn't come back to fight the Sidewinders. Here's Bass with the 0-2 delivery on the way to the Salt Lake catcher. And it swung on and missed. He blew a high fastball by him. Mathis goes down, and the inning is over. Salt Lake, though, does get a run on a hit. No errors, and 2 men left. We played half an inning tonight. It's Salt Lake 1, Tucson coming up on Cool 1450.
Alvernon Donuts is more than just donuts. Sure, you can stop in for a wide variety of donuts baked fresh daily, but you can also try their delicious muffins, bear claws, or a ham and cheese croissant. Alvernon Donuts even serves roasted chicken. Call ahead at 326-3307 and they'll have it ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Local and family owned. Alvernon Donuts at 1450 South Alvernon. More than just donuts.
Experience live entertainment every Friday and Saturday night at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. And enjoy Tucson's best food and drink specials every weekend at Arizona's finest casino, Casino del Sol. And for even more Vegas-like entertainment, check out Ava Amphitheater's concert schedule featuring Joan Sebastian, Tim Bandera, Martina McBride, and more. Tickets available at avaconcerts.com, the Club Sol box office, and Ticketmaster. Casino del Sol, just like Vegas, only closer. Enterprises of the Pasquayaki tribe.
When I had my stroke, my wife didn't know what to do. We both really felt helpless. I was so weak that I couldn't even open a pop bottle. Fortunately, my doctor sent me to Health South, and now I can do those things again. What I remember most about Health South are the physical therapists and nurses. Even at night when I needed to go to the bathroom, they were right there. I don't have enough good things to say about Health South.
For more information about Health South Rehabilitation Hospital of Southern Arizona, call 742-2800.
You're hearing Sidewinders baseball action on Cool 1450.
Salt Lake gets a run at the top of the first inning. Now the Sidewinders will come up against right-hander Dustin Mosley for the Bees. Mosley making his 11th appearance and 11th start. He's 5-3 with a 2.88 ERA. He's worked 50 innings on the season, given up 42 hits, 20 runs, 16 earned. He has walked 16, struck out 37, and the league hitting .235 against him. This will be Mosley's 3rd start of the year against the Sidewinders. and he has performed very well in his first 2 starts. In fact, he is 2-0 against Tucson on the season with an ERA of 2.45. First man he will face tonight is Alberto Callaspo, the former Salt Lake, well, it was a Stinger at the time, but played for Salt Lake at the end of last year. Callaspo batting .314 with a homer and 27 RBIs. And the first pitch is on the way to him, and a fastball is over the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Callaspo has hit in 11 straight games, and he is definitely a different player than when the Bees saw him in April. The 0-1 delivery, that's high, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. Callaspo's only home run of the season came against Mosley in Salt Lake. Here's the wind on the 1-1 delivery, fastball inside, and the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Callaspo was struggling so badly when these two teams met up in Salt Lake, he was actually batting 8th in the order. He homered leading off the 5th inning back on the 18th of April at Franklin Covey Field. And he swings and drives this one in the air to center field. Erstad is back, still backpedaling, shy of the track. He'll make the catch. And Callaspo flies out to center to begin the Sidewinders' offensive night. So with 1 away, now here comes Chris Young. Young batting at .280 with 8 home runs and 33 RBIs. He has a hit in each of his last 4 games. Now, Young has not seen Salt Lake yet this year. When the Sidewinders and Bees got together here in Tucson to open the season, and then when the clubs went to Salt Lake, Young was still on the disabled list with that broken bone in his hand. And he had joked before the club went to Salt Lake, hey, I'll see you in Utah, but he never made it. Here's the first pitch, and he bunts it first base side. This is a dandy. Young on the run, and he is going to be safe at first base. Elward came in to scoop it up, but Mosley couldn't get to the bag in time, and Elward realized it was going to be futile to try and beat Chris Young to the bag. So Young gets a bunt base hit, and Tucson with their first base runner of the night. Young is now hit in 5 consecutive ball games. And Stephen Drew will come to the plate. Well, that's a nice introduction for Chris Young to the Salt Lake Bees. Check out this speed. I mean, that wasn't even close. Once that ball got past the mound, it was going to take Young slipping and falling halfway to first base to not be safe. So he's aboard. Let's see if Chip Hale gets aggressive and tries to put him in motion. The right side is open for the left-handed hitting Drew. Batting at .311, 9 home runs, 34 RBIs. And a toss over to first will chase Young back to the bag. Drew has good numbers against Salt Lake this year. He's a .343 hitter against the Bees. 4 of his 9 home runs have come against Salt Lake, and he has driven in 7 runs. Drew had his 8-game hitting streak snapped with an 0 for 4 on Tuesday, but of course his final at-bat was a big one in that game. Hit a bouncing ball up the middle that chased Young over to third base, and he eventually scored on Barden's drive to center field. Mosley with a pitch. It's high and outside to Drew, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Mosley's start against Tucson here at Tucson Electric Park was the 2nd game of the season. That was back on the 7th of April. Scott Hairston hit a 2-run homer against him in the first inning, and the Sidewinders didn't really challenge after that. The 1-0 pitch, fastball outside, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes to Drew. Drew singled in front of Hairston's home run in that ball game, ended up going 1 for 5 as Tucson lost that night by a score of 9-2. It was a 3-2 game going to the 8th inning before Salt Lake erupted for 6 runs. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Drew, swinging a shot into the glove of his Turris at short, throws back to first, a double play, and the inning is over. So Drew hit it right on the button, but right to his Turris, and by the time Young saw it, it was too late to get back to the bag, and that'll do it in the first inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We'll head to the second. It's 1-0 Salt Lake.
Every Tuesday night, you could win your share of $15,000 in Desert Diamond Casino's weekly poker tournament. Wednesdays, it's $10,000 up for grabs. Choose the legal. Tournament is limited to 120 players with pool based on minimum of 100 players. Buy-in Tuesday is 140 plus 20. Wednesday is 90 plus 20. Or 800 Desert Diamond Club points that equals 3,000 tournament chips. No rebuys allowed. Early bird hours do not guarantee a seat if already sold out. Plus, there'll be early bird bonuses up to 3 hours before the tournament. So register early. Come play poker. Tuesdays, you could win your share of $15,000. Wednesdays, your share of $10,000.
As usual, if you win large amounts of cash, please try not to draw attention to yourself. Oh, brother. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Call 741-3541. Tuesdays and Wednesdays at Desert Diamond Casino, Nogales Highway.
An enterprise of the Donna Automation.
So, Dex.
Yeah.
I hear you know about lots of stuff.
I know my share.
So you know doctors.
Yep.
Business hours. Credit cards.
Yeah.
Places with 9 types of exotic cheese.
Where plastic flamingos are in season.
10-4, good buddy. Bet you don't know the capital of Malaysia?
Yeah, that's not really in the job description.
Aha!
Dex delivers the most complete local info any way you like it. In print, on CD-ROM, or at DexOnline.com.
I do have a Kuala Lumpur burger.
You got it.
I did? What'd I get?
Dex, the one that gets used. Dex knows.
This is Cool 1450, home of Sidewinders baseball action.
1-0 Salt Lake, top of the second inning, and Mike Elward will lead off against Adam Bass, who threw 27 pitches in the first inning. See if Bass can settle into a rhythm here against the latter third of the Salt Lake order. Elward to start it off, playing at first base for the Bees. He's batting at .257 with a homer and 12 RBIs. A right-handed batter in Bass with the first pitch, a fastball that misses inside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Elward, a guy that has just joined Salt Lake over the last month or so, with all the guys getting called up. The 1-0 pitch from Bass. That's over the inside corner for a strike, and the count now 1-1. Elward played at AA Arkansas last year, part of that team that went to the finals of the Texas League, ended up losing. 1-1 down low, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Batted .287, 14 home runs, 72 RBIs. A former 44th round pick in the 2001 draft out of South Florida. Now finds himself here with Salt Lake, filling in for Kendry Morales. Here's the wind and the 2-1 delivery from Bass. Swinging a drive in the air to right field. Kenny Perez back a couple of steps, backpedaling. He's there to make the two-handed grab. Elward is retired, and there's one away. So Bass able to set down the leadoff hitter here in the second inning. Now Curtis Pride will come up. Pride DHing for the Bees tonight. He's batting .317 with 2 home runs and 18 RBIs. Pride also has much better numbers than when the Sidewinders saw him early in the season. Pride did not get off to a great start this year with Salt Lake. But now he has much more Curtis Pride-like numbers. And he looks at a fastball over the outside corner from Bass. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. In fact, Pride didn't even play a ton against the Sidewinders early in the season because he had some health problems, was battling the flu in one of those series. The 0-1 delivery, that's low and in with a slider. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pride has had just 7 previous at-bats against Tucson. He is 1 for 7. That's a 143 average. Here's the 1-1 pitch to him, swinging a high chop to second. Kai Haspel will back up onto the grass, play the second hop, throws to Carter in time, and Pride is out. 2 away, and here comes Casey Smith. Well, it seems odd to get to the 9th spot in the order and be calling out a position player's name. Tucson went through that long stretch against National League affiliates where the pitchers hit. It started back on May 9th against Nashville and went all the way through Tuesday night. Tucson had their pitchers hitting. Now with an American League affiliate in with Salt Lake, we have the DH in play the next 4 days, and Smith takes a fastball down below the knees, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, it's not going to last very much longer because next week we go to Portland and Colorado Springs. The pitchers will be hitting again. The 1-0 is swung on and popped up off to the right and out of play. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sidewinders then come back home to face Las Vegas, go back to Portland, have another series with Vegas. The next time we'll see the DH is going to be on the 4th of July when Tacoma comes in. Bass into the motion. Here's his 1-1 pitch to Casey Smith. Swinging a pop-up, shallow center field. Young on his horse, coming in, still coming in, and it's going to fall in front of him for a base hit. Right in between Drew and Young. Chris was playing deep and around towards right center field, and that was just a little flare at a shallow left center. Drew gave it a good run, but it was out of his reach by about 2 steps, and Young had to pull up and let it drop right in front of him. So a 2-out single for Smith, and now you turn it over and go back to the top of the lineup for Reggie Willis. Well, when Salt Lake was in earlier this year, we talked about how there just aren't a lot of holes in this lineup, not a lot of places you can feel comfortable as a pitcher. And even with guys like Ibar and McPherson and Morales gone, this is still a pretty imposing lineup. Not as good as Salt Lake had earlier, but still pretty good. Pass from the stretch delivers, and Willett swings and lines one into center field. That's a base hit. Down to second goes Smith. He'll stop there. Reggie Willits picks up his first hit. He's been on board twice. And runners at first and second now for Meiser as Turris. Of course, we talked about it the other night with Tucson, that if you are an opposing pitcher facing the Sidewinders right now, you can't feel real comfortable when you look up and down the lineup and see Ty Aspo on an 11-game hitting streak. Young has been hot. He's hit in 4 straight games, but he's hitting over 300 over about the last 20 ball games. Drew, and doing what he does, just finished an 8-game hitting streak, but still over 300. Pass with the first pitch home to his Turris, and a breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Hairston, who is second in the league in home runs. He's moved into the top 10 in average. Carter's been swinging it better. Quentin's back in the lineup. Barden has been absolutely on fire. I mean, not a lot of holes there either for Tucson. Here's the 1-0 pitch to his Turris, swinging a ground ball to short. Drew's got the second hop, flips to Kai Aspo, covering at second in time, and that'll bring the second inning to a close. No runs, couple of hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We'll go to the bottom of the second. It's Salt Lake 1 and the Sidewinders nothing.
Make sure to try Sedona Springs Mountain Spring Water. Our water originates from deep protected mountain springs in Arizona, far from pollutants, city life, and people. Sedona Springs water enhances the flavors of juices, soups, pastas, and vegetables. And on a hot summer day in Arizona, there's nothing more refreshing than a cold drink of our natural spring water. So call now, 888-6099, to try Sedona Springs water, and we'll deliver a free case of our fresh mountain spring water at your doorstep to sample.
To get good fish, you have to know where to go. Shh. The best fishing holes are kept secret. But sometimes, all you got to do is listen. Only churches can make fish like this. Golden crunchy outside and light flaky inside. It's a good catch in a basket, platter, or inside the new fish sandwich. There's always something new crunching at Church's.
Try Church's new crunchy fish sandwich with fries for only $1.99. Or enjoy 12 pieces of chicken in spicy or original for only $7.99. Offer plus tax for limited time at participating restaurants.
Church's.
Looking for Sidewinders apparel and collectibles? Visit the Team Shop at Tucson Electric Park and browse our new selection of blankets, t-shirts, hats, jerseys, and more today. Can't make it to the game? Stop by the Sidewinders office on the west side of the stadium Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 p.m. to purchase your merchandise. And now fans can purchase Sidewinders gear from anywhere by visiting the online Team Shop at TucsonSidewinders.com. At the ballpark or on the web, the Sidewinders Team Shop has what you're looking for. So stop by or log on today.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
1-0 Bees as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Scott Hairston, Chris Carter, and Carlos Quentin will come up against Dustin Mosley. Mosley looking for his 6th win of the season tonight. 5-3. His ERA is down below 3 at 2.88. Now Mosley has missed a couple of starts because of a problem in his side. He sat out 2 starts because of a strain right near his rib cage. Don't know if it was an intercostal specifically, but it was a strain over on his side. He pitched against Oklahoma on the 18th of May and then shut it down until his last start against Tacoma on June 1st, and he lost that start against the Rainiers, going 4 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. But he has been very, very good all season long for Salt Lake. Here's Hairston to lead off against him. Scotty batting .330 with 15 home runs. And the first pitch is chopped foul down the third base side into the camera well past the Sidewinder dugout. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. 45 RBIs for Hairston now. That puts him second in the league, trailing Gourneau by 1. Hairston is third in slugging percentage, .617 in that category. He is fourth in the league in extra base hits. He has 29. And he had a very good series against Portland. Mosley winds and deals, and a breaking ball is hammered in the air to center field. Back on it, Erstad, and he will get there to make the catch in left center. Erstad had him played that way and able to run it down. Hairston hit it hard. He is retired, and there's 1 away. So early in the game, a couple of hard-hit balls against Mosley. Drew with a solid line drive that turned into a double play. Hairston with a shot to left center that's run down by Erstad. And now here is Chris Carter. Carter batting .284, 7 home runs and 23 RBIs. He has not had very good success this year against Salt Lake, just 6 for 29. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Carter has driven in 1 run against the Bees, does have a couple of doubles. Had the 3-homer game the other night on Monday. First time in his professional career that he had hit 3 home runs. Told me he did it in high school once or twice, but had never done it in the pro ranks. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball, missed somewhere. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Not even at Stanford did Carter have a 3-home run game, but did it the other night against Portland, and he hit some shots. Mosley stares in at his catcher, Mathis, into the windup, and his 2-0 pitch to the plate. That's high, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Mosley has a little bit of that old-time windup, maybe a little bit like Paul Bird, who pitched for the Angels last year, now is in Cleveland. Rocks those arms back behind him, then comes up into the motion. The 3-0 pitch to Carter. Miss, outside ball 4. And Carter has a 4-pitch walk, second consecutive inning. The Tucson has had a 1-out base runner. So with Carter at first, now here is Carlos Quentin. Tucson welcomes him back into the lineup after Quentin missed the last 5 games. Last played on June 1st at Fresno. And Quentin was struggling a little bit before going down with the injury. 6 for 28 over his last 7 games. He's 1 for 13 over his last 3. Quentin sitting out with a left abdomen strain, DHing tonight. Probably will see him in the field at some point in this series if all goes well. And a first pitch breaking ball. Misses low and outside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. And now 5 in a row have missed from Mosley. Quentin on the season batting .263. He's homered 5 times. He has driven in 26. Mathis puts down the sign. Carter a short lead away from first. Mosley brings his hand set at the belt. And his pitch to Quentin is swung on and popped up, coming back near the screen, and that's going to be over the screen and out of play. And that'll bounce right on the sun shield and right back down to Sandy Sidewinder. And the crowd will applaud the efforts of Sandy making that catch. I don't know that I've ever seen a ball do that here. Normally it'll rattle around on that sun shield. That one hit solidly and ricocheted right back down near the first row. And Sandy's going to hand that to a kid, and he'll be happy about his experience tonight at the ballpark. Mosley with the 1-1 pitch to Quentin, swinging a high drive down the left field line, but that is foul, and it'll be out of play. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Quentin has gone 9 for 23 against Salt Lake this year, so he has had good success against them, playing in his 8th game against the Bees. He has driven in 4 runs. Tucson didn't score a whole lot of runs in that season-opening series here against Salt Lake. Bees beat them 9-3, 9-2, 7-3 before an 8-6 Tucson win in the finale. And that fastball, I have no idea where it missed because it didn't. It's called strike 3. The umpire barked but didn't make any sort of motion, and then just a little pump of his fist as Quentin headed back to the dugout. There's definitely a good pitch from Mosley. So strike 3 called. Quentin is out for strikeout for Dustin Mosley. And with 2 away, now here comes Barton. Oh, the way the umpire barked, I thought he said ball. And then just a little slight pump of his fist. Quentin was already on his way back to the dugout. So here is Barton now. Barton batting .286, a season high for him. And Mosley's first pitch, fastball low and inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. 4 home runs, 31 RBIs for Barton. He has hit in his last 4 games. And he has hit overall in 11 of his last 14. He had a huge series against Portland. He went 10 for 16 with a homer and 3 doubles. The 1-0 pitch, good breaking ball that snaps over the outside corner. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mosley a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, cutter, curveball, and a changeup. His fastball will sit anywhere between 88 and 92 miles per hour. Barton with that straight up and down stance in the right-handed batter's box. And Mosley will toss over to first, and the throw gets away. That's going to roll down by the tarp. Carter on his way to second, and he will stop there. He had thoughts on third, and I think he's going to be awarded third base as that ball rolled over, I think, into the tarp. No, they're going to stop him at second. They're going to say he has to stop at second base. So it's going to be a throwing error. Thought the umpire was motioning that he got third, but he just gets second. Didn't it look like he was motioning towards third base? I mean, he was down the line, and he was pointing time and time again. Carter was already standing at second base. So he's in scoring position now. The throwing error charged to Mosley. The count 1 ball and 1 strike on Barton. And here's the pitch. Swinging a foul, just caught it off the end of his bat. A curveball. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barton came up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th inning on Tuesday night. Hit the first pitch he saw to deep center field. Ben Johnson was played way in. And as soon as he hit it, you knew it was good enough, even if Johnson had caught it, to score the winning run. Johnson ignored it. Barton got a single and an RBI. Here's the 1-2 pitch inside with a fastball, moving Barton off the plate. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Tucson with a sweep of the Portland Beavers, their 3rd series sweep of the year. They come into play tonight 10 games over 500 for the first time this season. Salt Lake also 10 games over. They're 34-24. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball down low, and the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sidewinders a game and a half up on Las Vegas. 51's back at home tonight. They are hosting Tacoma. 3-2 the count. Carter leading away from the bag at second base. And here comes the pitch. Curveball hit in the air, center field. Erstad coming in, still coming in, still coming in. Kendrick is out, and Kendrick is going to make the catch. Howie Kendrick, way out in shallow right center field, was able to make the play over his shoulder. Erstad wasn't going to get it, but Kendrick did, and that will end the inning. And Dustin Mosley acknowledging the nice play by Kendrick as he heads back to the dugout. For Tucson in the second inning, no runs, no hits. There was an error and 1 man left. We will go to the third. It's 1-0 Salt Lake.
Rocky Point's best-kept secret is the Peñasco del Sol Hotel. This breathtaking beachfront American-owned property is just 3.5 hours from Phoenix and Tucson and features 210 rooms and suites. Enjoy freshly prepared entrees in our restaurant, spend happy hour at our poolside cantina, lounge by our heated pool, or relax on the warm, sandy beaches of Rocky Point, Mexico. Planning a retreat? Our sales team will handle all the details. Call 1-800-259-6976 or visit HotelRockyPoint.com. Fireworks aren't just for the 4th of July anymore. They're in Tucson for every Friday night Sidewinders home game. Come on out to Tucson Electric Park on Fridays to see the Sidewinders battle for the PCL crown. And stick around for a terrific fireworks show presented by Sam Levitt. Tickets for Fireworks Fridays games are on sale now by calling 434-1021 or by logging on to TucsonSidewinders.com. The next Fireworks Friday is coming up soon, so get your tickets today.
The Maverick is where Tucson comes together for live country music. The Maverick, where great prices are down to earth, a dance floor that stretches across the club, and a private bar and lounge to relax your feet. The Maverick still is and always will be the king of clubs. It's country done right and live 5 nights a week. The Maverick, where pickups, Harleys, and Ferraris come together on Tanque Verde next to Cove Road.
More Sidewinders action now on Cool 1450.
Salt Lake 1, Tucson nothing. Top of the third inning, and Darren Erstad will get his second at bat of the night. He bounced softly back to the mound against Bass in the first inning, in there from the left side. Well, that uniform combination Erstad has going is something. Half red, half black and yellow. And the first pitch is a fastball to tie it outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, it was a couple of years ago that we saw Erstad on a rehab assignment with Salt Lake. At that point, he could wear his Angel stuff, and it matched perfectly. 1-0, fastball missing low and away, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. When the team was the Salt Lake Stingers, they had a red and white combination, much like the Angels do. But going to the Bees this season, they changed the color scheme, changed all the merchandise. 2-0 delivery is over the outside corner for a strike. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike on Darren Erstad. 1 for 12 on his rehab assignment. Of course, a lot of times those numbers don't mean a whole lot. It's when you're ready to go. The 2-1 pitch home, swing and a miss at a huge breaking ball from Bass. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Milton Bradley just completed his rehab assignment in Sacramento a couple of days ago. I think he was like 0 for 11 with the River Cats before he was activated by Oakland. Meanwhile, did you see Rocco Baldelli? He went on a rehab assignment, and they cut his short because he was playing so well. The 2-2 to Erstad, shattered bat bouncer over the mound towards second. Cayaspo picks it up, throws to first in time, and that is a heck of a play by Cayaspo. The bat and the ball were on the same path, and Cayaspo had to pick his foot up to let the bat go by and then scoop up the ground ball. So that's some fancy work by Cayaspo, and now it's Bass who's acknowledging his second baseman with a nice play. Bass has done well against Erstad tonight. He's got him to ground back to the mound and broke his bat. So with 1 down, now here is Howie Kendrick, whose average now sits at an even 400 after his RBI single in the first inning. Bass into the motion in the pitch, swinging a line drive down the right field line towards the corner. That's a fair ball. That's going to be extra bases. Kendrick around first, on his way to second, glances over his shoulder. He'll stop at second base with a double. And Howie Kendrick just keeps it going. A single and a double for him tonight. And he's in scoring position. And Nick Gourneau is coming up. Boy, what a lethal combination in the middle of the Salt Lake order. When you have Howie Kendrick, the leading hitter in this league, followed by Nick Gourneau, the leading RBI man in this league. And don't think that those are independent of one another. They certainly go together when you got Kendrick getting on base the way he does, and then Gourneau coming up with constant RBI opportunities. For Kendrick, it's his 18th double, and this is his 39th game with Salt Lake after the time he spent in the big leagues. So now Gourneau, who drew a walk in the first inning. Kendrick leads away from second base. Bass from the stretch. Checks Kendrick once, and the pitch home. Sinking fastball that's low and inside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Great to have you with us tonight. A thirsty Thursday here at the ballpark. Hope you'll come out over the course of the weekend. Should be a good series between these two teams. The 1-0 pitch is low and outside with a slider. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Salt Lake, as we mentioned, has won 6 out of the previous 8 games against Tucson this year. But obviously both teams different. Salt Lake just on a tear to open the season. I mean, they were phenomenal. And Tucson, meanwhile, scuffled out of the gate with that 4-11 start. And now they have battled back. And it's been interesting to watch, even as Tucson has played so well. Vegas right there, they're keeping pace. Sacramento just swept by Las Vegas. They fall to 5 games out, but certainly they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. 2 balls, no strikes. And Bass ready to work to Gourneau as he looks at Kendrick once, twice, and throws home, and it's low with a splitter. And the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. So Bass has had trouble locating the strike zone tonight against Nick Gourneau. Jeff Mathis out on deck. Bass struck him out on 3 pitches back in the first inning. See if Gourneau has a 3-0 green light here. Bass set, kicks, deals. Way outside, ball 4, we'll never know. So Gourneau will trot to first base, his second walk of the ball game. The third that Bass has issued. And now here is Jeff Mathis. Oh, Mathis in his last at bat, we talked about how his season started. After playing here last year with Salt Lake and making the Angels out of spring training, I mean, he was supposed to be the guy. Benji Molina was gone. Mathis was ready to take over, but he just never got it going this year. Played in 12 games with the Angels, had 39 at-bats and just 4 hits. In there from the right side, and Bass kicks and deals, and that's low with a slider in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. So Mathis' time in the big leagues produced a batting average of 103. And when he was behind the plate, Angels pitchers didn't throw very well. Now, whether that's his fault or not, I don't know, but the stat just didn't look right there either. That one's down and in. And now the count is 2 balls and no strikes. And now Mike Parrott out of the dugout to go out and visit with young Adam Bass. But in any event, Mathis sent back here to Salt Lake to get himself straightened out. Napoli goes to the big leagues, and Napoli has been playing extremely well. I mean, he's got an average right now of 323. He's homered 4 times. He's driven in 11. Watched the game yesterday. The Angels played against the Devil Rays, and Napoli is from Florida, had a bunch of family and friends on hand, and he crushed a deep 3-run homer in his first at-bat, and that helped Jared Weaver get another win. Weaver is now 3-0 with the Angels, although the thought is, reading some of the LA papers today, that when Bartolo Colon is ready to go, and Colon is supposed to meet with the Angels coaching staff very soon to discuss his future, that Weaver will be the odd man out, and he will be sent back here to Salt Lake, even though he's been lights out for the Angels. All right, conference on the mound is over. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Mathis. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We're in the top of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Salt Lake. And Bass ready to go to work. Here it comes, swinging a shattered bat bouncer, foul down the third base side. Now it's Barden who has to elude the bat, as that one ends up back of the bag at third on the outfield grass. I'll say this for Adam Bass, he's certainly getting in some kitchens tonight. Broke Erstad's bat, broke Mathis' bat right there. Kendrick in the first inning may have broken his bat. Didn't sound very good as he dumped a single into shallow left center. So he's been able to get in. But now trying to come back and retire Mathis here. Brian Harper went over, picked up that bat, and handed it to a fan down in the front row. There's a nice souvenir. That's going to be firewood anyway. Might as well give it away, right? Mathis has himself a new stick back in there. Touches up the plate as Bass reads Hammock for the sign. Robbie puts it down. Let's see where he's going to go here. Looks like he's moving in. He is. And Bass with a 2-1 pitch. Fastball that is called a strike over the inside corner. Mathis thought it was high. Hammock pulled it down and framed it, and the home plate umpire bought it. And so the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Elward out on deck for Salt Lake. If Bass could get Mathis, it would be a very, very big out. The 2-2 pitch will be coming up from the Tucson righty. Kendrick dancing away from the bag. Here it comes. Swinging a pop-up right side over near the seats. Carter hustling over, and he will run out of room as that goes down into the camera well. And we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, you go down the list and you look at all the guys that have been in Salt Lake this year that have gone up. Dallas McPherson, of course, who had seen big league time before. Solid numbers for him, batting .273. He's homered 5 times and has really been doing well lately for the Angels. Henry Morales, a .279 average. He got off to a terrible start with Salt Lake. When Tucson saw Salt Lake early, Morales, even though he was a threat, his average was in the .230, .240 range. He went on a tear when he was called up. He was hitting over .300. But he has produced. Eric Ibar is still up with the Angels. Tommy Murphy is there as well. Bass now steps off and looks Kendrick back to second base. I'll tell you this, too, with all the big names and all the prospects on the Salt Lake club, one guy that really impressed me, they all impressed me, as Barden said during the pregame show when I asked him about that, what caught his eye, he said everything. I like Tommy Murphy. I mean, he was hitting at the bottom of the lineup. He was a tough out. The 2-2 pitch from Bass, swinging a bouncer to third. Could be 2. Barden's got it. Throws to second. 1. Relay to first. In time. Double play. And around the horn, twin killing. 5-4-3 to end the inning. And Bass does a good job of getting out of a jam. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's Salt Lake 1 and Tucson nothing.
Hey, Sidewinders fans, while the race for the PCL Championship continues, the race for the Wireless Championship has been decided, and the winner is Singular. Only Singular has rollover, which allows you to keep your unused anytime minutes for an entire year, protects you from overage charges, and is simply the fairest value in wireless. And only Singular features the fewest drop calls of any wireless network in the country. And while we're talking about value, make sure you check out this great deal. Get $25 off any phone and a free accessory up to a $29.99 value with a new 2-year service agreement on any Singular phone. Just stop by Singular's booth at the ballpark during any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday home game at Tucson Electric Park, or visit one of their 5 Tucson store locations any day of the week. This offer is for a limited time, so make your switch to Singular today and start enjoying the benefits of the best wireless network in the country. Singular, raising the bar.
Hello, this is Sherry Espinoza, one of the many professionals who work on the Paul Ash Management team here in Tucson. Paul Ash Management Company offers a variety of luxury apartment rentals for every budget and lifestyle. Whatever area of town you're looking for, Paul Ash Management has quality apartments managed by people who care about you. Visit our website soon and tour all of our communities online at paulashmgt.com, or stop by and visit any of our communities throughout Tucson for what we like to call the complete package. We know you'll like what you see. For a luxury Eastside rental, call me at the Tanca Verde Apartments at 886-8469.
You're hearing Sidewinders baseball action on Cool 1450.
1-0 Salt Lake, bottom of the third inning at Tucson Electric Park tonight, and Kenny Perez will lead off against Dustin Mosley, the Salt Lake righty, finishing up his warm-up tosses right now with his catcher Mathis. Boy, a good job of pitching by Adam Bass, getting the 5-4-3 double play to end that third inning. Bass hasn't been incredibly sharp tonight, although, again, I think Bass has made some pretty decent pitches, and Salt Lake has done a good job of fighting them off, fouling them away, or dumping in some base hits, but Bass has made some good pitches when he's had to. Struck out Mathis to end the first inning with a couple of guys on, then got his Turris on a ground ball after back-to-back 2-out singles in the second, and then gets Mathis to ground into the double play with runners at first and second and 1 out, so Bass has certainly done a good job. Again, maybe minimizing damage the way we saw with both Edgar Gonzalez and Bill Murphy in the series against Portland. 55 pitches now for Bass through 3 innings, a little bit higher than he would like, but still only 1 run on the board, and that's the most important number right now. Just a 1-0 deficit as Perez stands in to lead off the third. Kenny batting at .280 with a homer and 15 RBIs. Mosley winds in the pitch, fastball high and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Something fun about watching Dustin Mosley with that old-time wind-up, swinging the arms back, then coming up. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Kenny Perez. Fastball over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Of course, Edgar Gonzalez lately has had a little bit of that, bringing his arms back up over his head. Now, Mosley used to do that, but he eliminated the hands over the head part this year. Perez swings, grounds one to short. Meiser is Turris towards the bag, scoops it up, throws wide to first. It's off the glove of Elwood, rolling away. Perez is going to go to second base. And another error committed by Salt Lake. A routine ground ball to short. And as Turris with a little bit of a wide throw, and as Elwood reached for it, it just went right off his glove. So we'll see who gets the error on that one. I'm going to guess it's going to go on the first baseman, Elwood. They haven't made a decision yet. We'll see what they do. In any event, Perez is in scoring position with nobody out. Now a golden opportunity for Tucson to tie the ball game. Hammock, the hitter, batting .267 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs. Smith, the third baseman, up even with the bag at third base. Hammock waits as Mosley comes set, and his pitch, fastball right down Broadway for a strike, and the count is 0-1. The error is going to go on his Turris. So a throwing error that allows Perez to go to second base. Hammock now trying to advance him. Does have room on the left side with his Turris playing towards the bag. And here's the pitch. Bounces in front of home plate. Hammock holds his swing back. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Elwood is up even with the bag at first. Looks like Salt Lake maybe is anticipating a bunt from Robbie Hammock. Don't think you'll see that. Now the third baseman Smith moves back in the bag. We'll set the Salt Lake defense for you here in a moment. Don't know that we got to that earlier in the game. And the pitch from Mosley is on the way. Up and in with a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Smith is Turris, Kendrick, and Elwood. Third to first around the infield. It's Willits, Erstad, and Gourneau. Left to right in the outfield with Jeff Mathis behind the plate. Mosley with that hand behind his back. Ball in his right hand. Stares in for the sign. Now brings the handset at the belt. Kicks and deals. And a curveball is popped up foul off to the right. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, that was a hanging curveball, but it got in enough where Hammock could only foul it away. Another inch or so towards the middle of the plate, and Hammock might have been able to hammer that one into the gap somewhere. Erstad in center as Hammock played around towards right center field. A 1-0 Salt Lake lead, bottom of the third inning. And Mosley with the 2-2 pitch, swinging a chop left side. Smith moves over to his left, scoops it up, throws to first, in time. Hammock is out, and Perez has to stay put at second base. So Hammock grounds out. Perez doesn't move. 1 out in the inning. Now back to the top of the lineup for Alberto Callaspo. Well, Callaspo went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position on Tuesday. That is very uncharacteristic of him. His numbers now, .417 with runners in scoring position. Goes up to .444 when they're in scoring position with 2 outs. That was a thing on Tuesday night. So many things that were strange for the Sidewinders as Callaspo looks at a changeup over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Bullpen had been so good, they struggled a little bit. Had that inning with Callaspo, Young, and Drew coming up. They went down on 5 pitches when he thought a sure rally was coming. The 0-1, Callaspo swings and pops it in the air. Left center field. In comes Willits on the run. He's going to get there to make the one-handed grab. And again, Perez has to retreat to second base. So Callaspo now 0 for his last 3 with runners in scoring position. He's flied out twice tonight. And that'll leave the inning in the hands of Chris Young. Then, of course, you add to all that, Callaspo not getting hits with runners in scoring position. How does that happen? He's normally money with runners in scoring position. So here is Chris Young now, who reaches on a bunt single in the first inning. Young is now hit in 5 consecutive ball games. His last 20 games have been pretty good to him. His average is up over 300. He's now 27 for 85 in that span. 7 home runs, 8 doubles, 23 RBIs, and 14 runs scored. And an RBI opportunity here. He'll need a base hit. Perez away from second, and Mosley's pitch, breaking ball low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Tucson and Salt Lake after tonight have 1 more series left against each other. That will be in Salt Lake. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and inside. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. Tucson goes to Salt Lake after the All-Star break, July 21st through the 24th. And then this season series will be done. Seems like this is more of a traditional season series. Play a team a couple of times early, then once here in June, then again in July. 2-0, breaking ball is high, and the count now 3 balls and no strikes. This business of playing Fresno 16 times and being done with them by the very beginning of June are playing Vegas 16 times in the span of under 30 days. That just doesn't seem right at all. Then he got a series with Sacramento early, and you don't see them again until August. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. The 3-0 pitch is on the way to Young, and a fastball is right down the middle for a strike, and the count now 3-1. So Young not turned loose, 3-0. Takes a strike. Should get a fastball to hit here. Mosley set at the belt, glances back at Perez, and the delivery, fastball, grounded to third. Casey Smith picks this one up, fires across to Elward in time. Young is out. The inning is over, and Tucson can't do anything with the error to lead off the inning. No runs, no hits, an error and one man left. We will go to the fourth. Still 1-0 Salt Lake.
If you're interested in a Hawaiian vacation, then you'll want to check out morealohaforless.com, Tucson's new site for discounted value-added vacations to all the Hawaiian Islands. At morealohaforless.com, you'll discover unique Hawaiian vacations with departures directly from Tucson. Escape to Hawaii with morealohaforless.com, powered by Worldwide Travel in Tucson, Arizona's #1 choice for Hawaiian vacations. Capture the true spirit of aloha. morealohaforless.com.
Here at Hyundai's Proving Ground, we subjected our Tucson and Santa Fe to a series of grueling all-weather trials. Now it's your turn to drive. Announcing the Hyundai Challenge, a bold invitation to compare our award-winning SUVs to Honda and Toyota. With Hyundai, you get quality backed by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you save thousands. The versatile Tucson, the family-friendly Santa Fe. 2 more reasons to visit our best Proving Ground. Your Hyundai dealer. See dealer for limited warranty details.
For Major League Printing, at minor league prices, there's one team that just can't be beat. It's InstiPrint at 3255 East Speedway. From business cards to booklets and manuals, from newsletters to notes and pads, brochures and flyers to binding and finishing, one color or full color. If it needs printing, you can count on InstiPrint to get the job done right and right on time. InstiPrint, 3255 East Speedway, just 2 blocks east of Country Club on the north side of Speedway. InstiPrint, Major League Printing and minor league prices.
This is Cool 1450, home of Sidewinders baseball action.
1-0 Salt Lake, top of the 4th inning tonight here at Tucson Electric Park, along with Sean Thomas back in the studio. Greg Esposito, our in-booth producer tonight. I'm Ryan Radke. Great to have you with us. First of 4 between the Sidewinders and the Bees. Same start time tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 6:50 with the On Deck Show. Come on out and see us. Jeff Haverlow and Edgar Gonzalez, the pitching matchup. Again tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, game 2 of the series. Adam Bass into the windup. Here's his first pitch to Mike Elward, the Salt Lake first baseman, and a slider is in there for a strike. And the count 0-1. Elward 0 for 1 tonight. Flied out to Kenny Perez in right field, leading off in the second inning. Bass into the wind, and the 0-1 delivery to the plate. Another slider, hammer down to third, but Barton down to a knee, picks the line drive, and Elward is retired. So a sinking liner, but he couldn't get it past Barton. And with 1 away, now here is Curtis Pride, the Salt Lake designated hitter. Pride a high chopper to Cayaspo at second base in the second inning. Well, I know, and we've seen Curtis Pride before. We've talked about it. But, I mean, you want to talk about a true professional. Curtis Pride is a pro in every sense of the word. He is a pro's pro. He's been around for a long time. He plays the game the right way. First pitch, Pride swings and misses at a slider from Bass, and the count 0 balls and 1 strike. I mean, he had that high chop to Cayaspo in the second inning, and he was busting it down the line. Usually guys that have been around as long as Pride, they might say, well, that's an easy out, just kind of loaf it down to first base. I mean, he was trying to beat that out with everything he had. Pass with the 0-1, and a fastball misses low and inside. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-0 Salt Lake here in the top of the 4th inning. Bass goes into the windup, and here comes his pitch, and Pride takes the fastball for a strike over the inside corner. He thought that was in, and now he shoots a glance back at the home plate umpire. Has some words for him, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curtis Pride, of course, you've heard the story before. Curtis is deaf. He will communicate with others, though. He reads lips very well. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, base hit left field. So Pride disputes a strike call and then says, well, I'll just handle this myself. Base hit into left, a 1-out base runner for Salt Lake. And Casey Smith now coming to the plate. Smith 1 for 1 tonight. He had a base hit with 2 outs and nobody on in the second inning. Looked like for a moment maybe it would start a Salt Lake rally, but then Bass was able to get Meiser as tourist to ground out after Willits had singled, putting a couple of guys on. So Bass would like the ground ball here into the last inning with a 5-4-3 double play. Smith has his average up over the 300 mark now, batting at .302. Hammock sets up inside, and Bass from the stretch kicks with a runner going, swing and a foul off the foot of Smith, rolling back towards the mound. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. And Curtis Pride, you start looking at guys in his lineup that can run, you don't immediately think of Curtis Pride, but I'll tell you what, he is 10 for 11 in stolen base attempts this year. Brian Harper runs through some signs in the third base coach's box. Smith taking some time after he fouled that ball off his foot. The home plate umpire dusting off the plate, asked him if he's okay. He says yes, and we'll be ready to play baseball again here momentarily. Brian Harper may be the only coach I've ever seen that actually stands right in the middle of the third base coach's box. Bass with the set away from his chest, and here comes the 0-1 pitch, swinging a fly ball, center field. This one's carrying, chasing Young back to the warning track. He will make the catch as he got spun around on the track. That ball really carried. Young was going back and looking over his left shoulder, and then at the last moment had to turn and jump up and reach over his right shoulder to make the catch. So Smith hits it a long way, but Young is able to make the play. 2 outs. And now here is Reggie Willits, who is 1 for 1 tonight. He's reached base both times. Walked in the first inning, singled in the second. A 1-0 Salt Lake lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Well, I mentioned tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. Also make sure you come out. See some special guests that are going to be on hand as Bass gets ready to face Willits, but first the toss over to first base, and back to the bag is Curtis Pride. Several members of the Arizona softball team, the national championship Arizona softball team, are going to be on hand tomorrow. In fact, some of them decided to come out a night early. They're sitting down by the Salt Lake dugout on the first base side, a couple of rows back. They were honored in between innings. Nice round of applause for them. Another throw to first, and Pride back into the bag. 5 or 6 of them on hand here tonight. Forgive me, I don't recognize all of them by face. I can tell you that one who was down there for sure, Callista Balco, the catcher on that team, who was from Tucson, and she was behind the plate for all of Alicia Hollowell's unbelievable performance as Arizona wins the national title, beating Northwestern 2-0. Pride runs, pitch to the plate, is high, the throw to second is not in time. Pride just gets in under the tag of Stephen Drew. And so Curtis Pride with his 11th stolen base. He's now 11 for 12. And in scoring position for Willits, who now is ahead in the count. I think it's 1-0. Scoreboard says 2-0. He's only thrown 1 pitch. And now I think Hammock is asking the umpire why that wasn't a strike. I looked at it and I thought it was high. At least that's what I thought the umpire was going to say, that it was high. It is, and actually Hammock is questioning the count because I just saw him make the motion with his hand 1-0. It is 1-0 to Reggie Willits, not 2-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, but Pride in scoring position now. Willits is driven in 29. Bass checks Pride at second base. He kicks and deals, and that's over the outside corner for a strike. And the count is now 1-1 on Reggie Willits. Anyway, Arizona with that win over Northwestern, their 7th national championship. And congratulations to the ladies. They were outstanding. Lost 1 game, lost to Tennessee, and then came back and pounded the Volunteers later that night. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Good breaking ball over the outside corner for a called strike to Willits. And the count now 1-2. Alicia Hollowell, who had come up short several times during the World Series in the past, was flat awesome, leading that team to a victory. And, of course, the top of the lineup wasn't bad either. Caitlin Lowe and Autumn Champion were getting on base left and right. Every time you looked up, they were on. The 1-2 pitch coming to Reggie Willits, swinging a line drive and a leaping stab by Carter in foul territory, first base side. Willits got jammed and Carter crossed the line, jumped up and snared it. And the inning comes to an end, and now it's Bass who will acknowledge Carter on the nice play as he heads back to the dugout. In the top of the 4th inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still Salt Lake 1 and Tucson 0.
Fiorito's Italian Restaurant, a charming restaurant with great Italian food and wine. They serve regional Italian dishes like smoked cabrilla and traditional spaghetti and homemade meatballs. Fiorito's on Grant, just east of Tucson Boulevard. Italian food at its best.
Experience live entertainment every Friday and Saturday night at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. And enjoy Tucson's best food and drink specials every weekend at Arizona's finest casino, Casino del Sol. And for even more Vegas-like entertainment, check out Ava Amphitheater's concert schedule featuring Joanne Sebastian, Tim Bandera, Martina McBride, and more. Tickets available at avaconcerts.com, the Club Sol box office, and Ticketmaster. Casino del Sol, just like Vegas, only closer. Enterprises of the Pasquayaki Tribe.
Hi, Red. Is that space taken?
Hi, Speedy. As a matter of fact, I was saving it for a new pickup.
Oh, Red, why a new pickup?
Come on, Speedy. You haven't been over to Simonized for a car washer detailing in months.
Detailing?
Yes, a Simonized detail service, like carpet and upholstery shampoo, exterior waxing, leather cleaning and conditioning, or even a complete bumper-to-bumper service. Simonized will have you looking like you were brand new.
Wow, Simonized can make me look brand new?
Simonized can make even you look brand new at any one of their 7 Tucson locations.
Fiorito's Italian Restaurant has a drive-thru window. In a hurry, call ahead and order appetizers, pasta, entrees, pizza, and of course dessert. The phone number is 325-6913. Fiorito's on Grant, just east of Tucson Boulevard. Italian food at its best.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
Hey fans, make sure you stop by Arizona Honda Powerhouse at 4710 South Palo Verde or their concourse display near the Groves for your chance to register for the Arizona Honda Hit for the Cycle contest. If any Sidewinders player hits a single, double, triple, and home run over the fence tonight, both the player and one lucky fan will walk away with an ATV courtesy of Arizona Honda. And tonight's lucky contestant is Ron Fields. So good luck, Ron. Stephen Drew to lead off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 1-0 Salt Lake lead, and the first pitch is a curveball from Mosley that's over the outside corner for strike 1. Drew lined into a double play to end the first inning, a hard shot right to Meiser as Turris at shortstop. Mosley winds in the pitch, high and outside with a fastball, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Tucson with just 1 hit on the board so far. It was Chris Young's bunt single back in the first inning. Mosley reading the catcher Mathis, and the 1-1 pitch coming to the plate. Drew swings and pops it foul, left side out of play. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vegas underway tonight at home against Tacoma. The Rainiers have put 4 on the board in the top of the 3rd inning. They're still batting. It is a 4-2 Tacoma lead. Portland and Sacramento opening a series out at Rayleigh Field tonight. And the Beavers and Rivercats are tied at 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Stephen Drew. And now Mosley steps off for just a moment, but quickly back up on top of the hill. And winding now for the 1-2 pitch home. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Drew goes down on a high fastball. And so Stephen is 0 for 2 tonight. That's the second strikeout of the game for Mosley. And now here is Scott Hairston, who flied out to deep left center field, his first time in. Well, Hairston certainly had some dramatics on Tuesday night, leading off in the 8th inning, pounding his 15th home run of the year to left field. Tied the game at 5. Tucson would win in extras 6-5. Sidewinders with a sweep of Portland. They needed it, though, with Vegas sweeping Sacramento. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that just missed below the knees to Hairston. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. In fact, Salt Lake should have sent Tucson a greeting card. I mean, while the Sidewinders were busy sweeping Portland, Salt Lake was taking 3 out of 4 in Fresno and picking up ground. 1-0 pitch. Hairston swings and bounces it foul down the third base line. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Salt Lake, of course, had Bartolo Colon in one of those outings. And Colon has made a couple of rehab starts now. Again, he's going to meet with the Anaheim Brass coming up very soon. They're going to talk about what they want to do with him. The thought is that he is going to be activated. Whenever he is activated, then Weaver comes back to Salt Lake. Here's the wind and the 1-1 pitch. Hairston swings and chops it foul off his foot. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So when Weaver comes back to this Salt Lake rotation, I guess we should say if Weaver comes back to the Salt Lake rotation, they'll have Mosley with an ERA of below 3. They will have Joe Saunders, who has an ERA below 2.5. And then you throw Weaver into the mix, who is working on 27 1/3 scoreless innings here in the minor leagues. That is an impressive rotation. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Hairston takes just below the knees with a fastball. And the count 2-2. Now, if the Sidewinders had their full rotation, it'd be very interesting to match up. You'd have Dustin Nippert. You've had Enrique Gonzalez. Of course, both those guys summoned by the Diamondbacks yesterday, although Nippert on his way back down. As the 2-2 is a high chop to short. Coming in is his Turris. He gloves it, fires across in time. Hairston is retired. And just like that, there's 2 away. Nippert started yesterday for the Diamondbacks. Took the loss against Philadelphia. And then today, Nippert sent back to Tucson. Greg Aquino called back up. So Tucson loses an arm out of their bullpen, but gains a very valuable arm back for their rotation. Looks like Nippert now will be on turn to start the opener in Portland on Monday. But Enrique Gonzalez back up. Enrique pitched 3 innings in relief yesterday. Here's Chris Carter, and the first pitch to him bounces in front of home plate. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Enrique will stay up. He'll probably take the rotation spot of Juan Cruz, who went on the DL with some shoulder stiffness. Of course, Enrique, I don't think there was any doubt that he deserved to be up, especially the way he pitched when he was up before. Carter swings and chops one to second. Back onto the outfield grass is Kendrick to glove it, flips to first in plenty of time. Carter is out, and the inning is over, and the Sidewinders go quietly in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the 5th. Still Salt Lake 1 and Tucson nothing.
Film Creations Limited has provided Southern Arizona and the world with high-quality, low-cost video production for over 25 years. Our full-service facility features a multitude of digital editing and production toys designed to make you look better than your competition. Not to mention, Film Creations offers clients the option of producing all of their commercials, training videos, and marketing videos in high definition for the same price our competitors charge for standard def. So when you see something you like, chances are Film Creations did it. Give us a call at 624-4444 or visit us at filmcreations.com.
Whenever I am asked why La Parrilla Suiza has been so successful in Tucson, I tell them it is because of the unique flavors of Mexican cuisine as enjoyed in Mexico City. Each region of Mexico offers its own distinct style of special ingredients. La Parrilla Suiza is open 7 days a week with 3 Tucson locations. Call La Parrilla Suiza for reservations or to book your next party or group function. Bienvenidos a La Parrilla Suiza.
The best family value in Tucson is coming to Tucson Electric Park on Tuesday nights. It's $2 Tuesdays, and the name says it all. All general admission tickets on Tuesday nights are just $2. Plus, enjoy $2 food specials all season long. So get the family together and head on out to the ballpark for great Sidewinders baseball at a terrific price. $2 gets you in, and 2 more gets you dinner. Tickets are available now at the box office, on the phone at 434-1021, or on the web at our official website, TucsonSidewinders.com. $2 Tuesdays and the Sidewinders, the best family value in town.
More Sidewinders action now on Cool 1450.
1-0 Salt Lake, top of the 5th inning. Meister is Turris to lead off against Adam Bass. And the Tucson righty winds and deals a fastball right down the middle for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Well, here's some good news for Sidewinder fans. Give you in just a moment as Bass winds and the 0-1 pitch, swinging a foul off the thumbs of his Turris, backing out of play. And the count no balls and 2 strikes. Tacoma scored 10 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. They lead Las Vegas 10-2 in the bottom of the 3rd. The 0-2 pitch to his Turris inside with a fastball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So how about that inning? 10 runs. The 1-2 to his Turris, swinging a shot to right field. In comes Kenny Perez, and he will get there to make the chest high grab. His Turris with a hard liner, but Perez runs it down, and there's 1 away. Well, you got to credit Adam Bass. I mean, he's going up against the guy in Dustin Mosley, who has given up just 1 hit through the front 4 innings. Bass has surrendered 5 hits, and he has walked 3, but has allowed just that 1 run. Now he'll face Darren Erstad for the 3rd time. He's been good against Erstad tonight. Got him to ground back to the mound and then broke his bat on a ground ball to second base. Bass winds, here's the pitch. Breaking ball high and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Michael Garcia-Parra, Nomar's younger brother, had an RBI base hit for Tacoma in that 3rd inning. The 1-0 pitch, Erstad holds back on a high fastball, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. John Nelson had an RBI triple, Greg Dobbs a base hit, Adam Jones an RBI double. Michael Garcia-Parra actually had 2 RBI singles in that inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch coming up to Erstad. And that's a strike, a fastball over the outside corner. And the count now 2-1. So a 10-run third inning for Tacoma. And they have a nice cushion now against Vegas. The 2-1 pitch to Erstad, line drive, hit towards short. Drew will short hop it, backhand pick, throws the first in time. Erstad is out. Steven tried to catch that on the fly, but it just got down in front of him, but still a nice play. Erstad now 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 14 on his rehab assignment. And with 2 down, now here comes Howie Kendrick, who has not been retired tonight. He is 2 for 2 with a single and a double. And he is now hitting .404. In there from the right side, and Bass with the first pitch to him. Swing and a miss, and a slider down and away, and the count 0 balls and 1 strike. And for, I think, one of the few times that we've seen this season, Howie Kendrick looked foolish on that swing. Hammock sets up inside. Bass with a pitch, too far inside with a fastball. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Other scores from around the Pacific Coast League. Portland on top of Sacramento now 5-3 as Kendrick fouls one back into the screen. They're in the top of the 4th inning at it, Rayleigh. Albuquerque leads Memphis by a count of 10-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Colorado Springs leads Fresno 2-1, top of the 8th inning as Kendrick swings and bounces one to short. Drew is there to glove it. He will throw across the Carter in time. Kendrick is out. Adam Bass with an easy top of the 5th inning. Salt Lake goes quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's the Bees 1 and the Sidewinders nothing.
Hey, Sidewinders fans, while the race for the PCL Championship continues, the race for the Wireless Championship has been decided, and the winner is Singular. Only Singular has rollover, which allows you to keep your unused anytime minutes for an entire year, protects you from overage charges, and is simply the fairest value in wireless. And only Singular features the fewest drop calls of any wireless network in the country. And while we're talking about value, make sure you check out this great deal. Get $25 off any phone and a free accessory up to a $29.99 value with a new 2-year service agreement on any Singular phone. Just stop by Singular's booth at the ballpark during any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday home game at Tucson Electric Park, or visit one of their 5 Tucson store locations any day of the week. This offer is for a limited time, so make your switch to Singular today and start enjoying the benefits of the best wireless network in the country. Singular, raising the bar.
Have you ever considered a Sidewinder baseball game for hospitality to entertain your clients, to increase sales, and build customer loyalty? If not, you're missing out on the in-location to thank your customers for their business. With complete catering services available, you can choose from a wide variety of fares to complement your event. It's so easy. You bring us your clients and we'll do all the rest while making you look good to your customers. Call the group department and ask us about luxury suites and corporate meeting possibilities at 434-1021. That's 434-1021. Call today.
You're hearing Sidewinders baseball action on Cool 1450.
1-0 Salt Lake, bottom of the 5th inning. Let's finish up the PCL scoreboard as it stands right now. Round Rock is leading Iowa 3-1. They're in the bottom of the 9th inning at Sec Taylor Stadium. Elsewhere in the league, Omaha lost to Oklahoma 5-3. Jason Hart hit his 5th home run of the year for Oklahoma. Nashville is trailing New Orleans 6-5. They're in the top of the 8th inning. So much for the travel day, and there not being any runs scored around the league. Maybe because everybody was able to get in early because of the off day, they're well rested and ready to go. Here's Carlos Quinton to lead off against Dustin Mosley, bottom of the 5th inning. Mosley has allowed just one hit, a bunt single from Young in the 1st. Mosley winds his first one to Quinton. Curveball hammered foul down the left field line. That'll get up onto the berm, and the count 0 balls and 1 strike. Tucson has had a couple of opportunities in this game. Carter walked with a 1 out in the 2nd inning and then went to second on a throwing error as the 0-1 pitch is inside with a fastball, and the count now 1-1. Kenny Perez got to second leading off in the 3rd inning because of his Turris throwing error, but he never moved. Mosley, after a perfect 4th inning, now working in the 5th, and a fastball is up and into Quinton. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, each of those last 2 pitches very close to coming inside and hitting Q. Even with his time away, he still leads all of minor league baseball with 20 hit by pitches. The 2-1 curveball, line to left field, base hit. So Quinton hammered the first curveball he saw foul. He lines this one to left. Second hit of the night for Tucson. And just the second time in the game they've had their leadoff man on. And now Brian Barton will come up. Barton almost tied this game at 1 in the second inning. He had a shallow pop to center, and it looked like it was going to be Erstad or nobody the entire way. But then suddenly Howie Kendrick from second base came into the picture and made a nice running over-the-shoulder grab to prevent Carter from coming in to score. So Barton's second look at Mosley. And here comes the pitch. Barton shortens the butt, drops at third base side. Charging is Smith. He gloves, throws on the run. Safe at first base is Barton. And hopefully Barton is okay. He's still running down the line, and he is limping. Well, hopefully it's nothing serious. I don't know if he twisted his ankle or if maybe it's a hamstring or what. A great bunt from Barton. And now he says to the dugout, I'm all right. He's going to walk back to first base. He's still limping a little bit. I'll tell you what, Young and Barton have laid down terrific bunts tonight. And each of them has a hit to show for it. Now runners at first and second. And now you wonder if Chip Hale will consider a bunt here. Kenny Perez, the hitter. There's 2 on. There's nobody out. Not what you'd normally think the Sidewinders would do, but in a 1-0 game, Mosley has been tough. Maybe Chip decides to ask Kenny to drop one down. We'll see. He's in from the left side. Now a throwback to second base, and Quentin easily back to the bag with Kendrick sneaking in behind him. Now Elward, the first baseman, is going to come in and talk to Mosley. Offers up a quick word to him. Mosley turns his back, walks back up on top of the hill. Elward now going through some signs. The rest of the defense will look over at him and find out what they want to do should Perez drop down that bunt. Now, if Kenny would bunt, he's going to want to bunt it to the third base side and force Smith to field it. Quentin away from second base, Barton from first. Kenny squares around and takes the fastball outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, when these two teams met early in the season, there were a couple of games that were close into the middle and later innings. Then Salt Lake just absolutely busted open. Got the bats going, got helped out at times. Perez not bunting here, and he swings and pops it up left side. That'll get back into the seat. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice catch made by a fan down there about 6-7 rows back of the dugout. Remember, the first game that Tucson won against Salt Lake, the Bees actually jumped out to a huge lead. I mean, they had a 5-run inning against Dustin Nipper. But Tucson was able to battle back and won the ball game 8-6. The 1-1 pitch to Perez, swing and a miss at a fastball, and the count now 1-2. Salt Lake had a 5-1 lead after the top of the second inning in that ball game. But Tucson battled back. They had a 4-run 7th. Nippert was spectacular after that in earning his first victory of the season. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Perez. And the pitch. Swing and a ground ball towards short, could be 2. As Torres has it, throws to second for 1. Relay to first is in time, a double play. So from 2 on and nobody out to 1 on and 2 out, and now it is going to take a base hit from Hammett. So they decided not to bunt, and Perez wraps into the 6-4-3. So we'll see if Hammett can come through. Robbie had a ground ball to third his first time up. So he is 0 for 1 as he stands in. Hammock has hit in 11 of his last 13 ball games. He has not had a multi-hit game in a while. Tucson's not really worried about the multi-hit game right now. They're just worried about him getting that 1 hit. Get a hit in 12 out of 14 and drive home the tying run. A 1-0 Salt Lake lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Infield plays very deep. Willits, the left fielder, very deep against Hammock as well. The first pitch is a curve that's over the inside corner for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Hammock has driven in 12 runs this season. Erstad straight away in center field. Gourneau straight away in right. Mosley nods yes, winds, and his 0-1 pitch to Hammock. Fastball just missed the outside corner. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, one of the keys against this Salt Lake team, you really want to get into their bullpen. While their offense can be spectacular and their rotation is very good, their bullpen has really struggled. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball hit high in the air to deep left field. Willits is back. He is going to turn. He is going to watch, and it is gone. Robbie Hammock with a 2-run homer above the bullpen in left. And Tucson has taken the lead. It is 2-1. So Robbie Hammock does one better than tying the ball game. He puts Tucson in the lead with his 4th home run. RBIs 13 and 14, and what a pick-me-up that is. After Tucson had 2 on with nobody out, and Perez hits into the double play, Hammock comes through with the 2-run homer. 7th home run that Mosley has given up. Now Cayaspo. Alberto is 0 for 2. He has flied to center and flied to left, and he looks at a fastball high and outside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. So after getting 1 hit through the first 4 innings, Tucson has 3 hits in the 5th. Here's the wind and the 1-0 delivery, and Cayaspo swings and pops it up down the left field line. This is going to be a long run for everybody, and nobody's going to get there as it falls foul. And the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. Cayaspo with an 11-game hitting streak on the line. Alberto is second in the league in hits with his 72. Tony Gwynn from Nashville continues to lead with 75. Cayaspo, I mean, we talk about how good he has been. He actually has reached base in 32 of his last 33. The 1-1 fastball comes up and into him, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And he has scored 26 runs in that stretch. The hitting streak he is working on right now, his 2nd double-digit streak of the year. The 2-1 pitch to him just missed the outside corner, and the count now 3-1. Cayaspo now 5th on the team in walks. He's drawn 20 of them. Not a great number for a leadoff hitter, but after getting 4 in the month of April, he has been much more patient. Here's Mosley's 3-1 pitch. Fastball fouled back into the screen, and the count 3-2. Boy, Alberto had a good rip at that one. And you know he'd like to do some damage against his former organization. Just 6 for 30 against them so far this season. He'd like to show them how hot he has been, show them they made a mistake. The 3-2 pitch to him, way high and outside, ball 4, and Cayaspo does draw the walk. And that'll give Chris Young a shot. 2nd walk of the ball game issued by Mosley. You know, from Cayaspo's point of view, there's 2 ways to look at it. One, he probably has a better opportunity here in the Diamondbacks organization. You know, Orlando Hudson at second base for Arizona. We all know what kind of player he can be, but he's struggled somewhat. Cayaspo has played very well. He's gotten away from that middle infield log jam that includes Ibar and Kendrick and his Turris and, of course, Brandon Wood, who's in Double-A right now. But at the same time, anytime you get traded, you want to come back and show that organization, hey, I was a better player than the guys that you kept. Now, it's going to be tough to prove with Howie Kendrick out there at second base right now. Not taking anything away from Cayaspo. He's been awesome this year. But Kendrick, my goodness, I mean, the guy's hitting over 400. Here's the pitch to Young. Fastball over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Kendrick, of course, had a little stretch with the Angels. Mike Scioscia said when he came up, not only can he be a good Major League player, he can be a special Major League player. 0-1 the count to Chris Young. Another throw to first, and Cayaspo dives back to the bag. Talking about special players, you know, with this Tucson team, again, so many good prospects. But lately, when people have asked me about players on this team, you know, you talk about all of them, Cayaspo and Drew and what Hairston's done and Quentin's capabilities. But Chris Young is a guy that I keep bringing up because I feel like, for whatever reason, Young kind of gets pushed into the background. And the way this guy is playing right now, I mean, he is an exciting player to watch. No balls, 1 strike to count to him. Cayaspo leading away from first. And Mosley's pitch, swinging a fly ball, right field. This will back Corneau up a couple of steps. He camps underneath it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But Tucson scores 2 runs on 3 hits. Hammock's 2-run blow, the key one in the inning. Cayaspo, left standing at first base, will go to the 6th. Sidewinders have the lead. It is 2-1.
Hello, this is Sherry Espinoza, one of the many professionals who work on the Paul Ash Management team here in Tucson. Paul Ash Management Company offers a variety of luxury apartment rentals for every budget and lifestyle. Whatever area of town you're looking for, Paul Ash Management has quality apartments managed by people who care about you. Visit our website soon and tour all of our communities online at paulashmgt.com, or stop by and visit any of our communities throughout Tucson for what we like to call the complete package. We know you'll like what you see. For a luxury Eastside rental, call me at the Tanca Verde Apartments at 886-8469.
The Tucson tradition is back this season. It's Thirsty Thursdays at Tucson Electric Park. Every Thursday night, fans can enjoy $1 beer, soda, and lemonade for 2 hours after the first pitch. So make your plans to be with us every Thursday for the most popular night of the week. It's the best baseball tradition in the Old Pueblo, the Sidewinders, and $1 beverages throughout the game. Tickets are available now by calling 434-1021. That's 434-1021, or on the Sidewinders official website at www.TucsonSidewinders.com.
To get good fish, you have to know where to go. The best fishing holes are kept secret. But sometimes, all you got to do is listen. Only churches can make fish like this. Golden crunchy outside and light flaky inside. It's a good catch in a basket, platter, or inside the new fish sandwich. There's always something new crunching at Church's.
Try Church's new crunchy fish sandwich with fries for only $1.99. Or enjoy 12 pieces of chicken in spicy or original for only $7.99. Offer plus tax for limited time at participating restaurants.
Church's. This is Cool 1450, home of Sidewinders baseball action.
Let's check the Sidewinders injury report brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carlos Quentin back in the lineup tonight, missed 5 games with a strained left abdominal muscle. Quentin DHing, and if everything feels okay, he'll probably be back in the field at some point during this series. And fortunately, that's about all we have to report. Juan Cruz, of course, going on the disabled list up with the Diamondbacks, and that precipitated the call of Enrique Gonzalez back to the big league. But other than that, the injury news is minimal. That's always a good thing. Our injury report, as always, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Well, Adam Bass has a lead to work with here as we go to the 6th inning. Let's see how he responds. 2-1 Sidewinders after Robbie Hammock's 2-run homer at the bottom of the 5th inning. Nick Gourneau to lead off, and Bass has had a hard time throwing strikes against Gourneau tonight. He has walked him twice. So Gourneau, without an official plate appearance, still batting .295, 8 home runs, 46 RBI. And Bass into the windup. And the pitch, breaking ball that floats high and inside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody throwing right now down in the Tucson bullpen. Bass did throw a lot of pitches early in this ball game as he winds and deals the 1-0 to Gourneau. Swinging a chopper over the mound, back in the bag at second, past Ty Aspo into center field for a base hit. And so Gourneau with a leadoff single. A chopper that just eluded the backhand effort of Ty Aspo. That is base hit number 6 in the game for Salt Lake. And it'll bring up Jeff Mathis. And as that base hit goes through, it looks like there's going to be some movement down in the bullpen. Some guys getting up, walking around, stretching, but nobody's throwing right now. Bass has done well against Mathis tonight. He struck him out, got him to ground into a double play. And the first pitch, Mathis swings, drives it deep, down the left field line, towards the corner, and that one is going to bounce on the warning track and up over the fence into the bullpen. That's going to be a break for Tucson because Gourneau has to stop at third. But it's a ground rule double for Mathis. Runners at second and third with nobody out now, and Elward coming up. So after getting the lead 2-1, Bass has allowed a single to Gourneau, a double to Mathis. And now Elward, who is 0 for 2, he has flied to right and lined to third. Tucson is going to play the infield back. So they'll give up the tying run for the out. Boy, if Bass has a strikeout pitch that he likes, now would be a time to go to it. Bass has only struck out 1 Salt Lake hitter tonight. The first pitch to Elward, good fastball over the inside corner. That's called a strike. And the count is 0-1. Now Mike Schultz is up and throwing down in the Tucson bullpen. Mathis the runner at second. Gourneau is at third. A 2-1 Sidewinder lead. And the 0-1 pitch up and in, and it hit it. So Bass trying to jam Elward, drills him with a fastball. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Curtis Pride is coming up. And I think Mike Parrott is going to be on his way out to the mound to talk with Bass. And here he comes. So Bird's going to make a slow walk out to the mound. Well, this is going to require some nifty pitching. Bass might want to go over and talk to Murphy and Gonzalez and find out what they did in their starts against Portland, because the base is loaded with nobody out in a 2-1 game. Curtis Pride up there, a veteran hitter. I think the best scenario here is that Pride bounces into a double play, and even if a run would score, you get 2 key outs and then face Casey Smith. Although he's the 9th man in the order, he is batting up around 300. Of course, a strikeout to Pride would work as well, but Curtis Pride has been around a long time, and Adam Bass is going to have to work some magic here. So Bird done talking. He's on his way back to the dugout. Bass will work from the stretch against Pride, a left-handed batter who is 1 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to second and singled. 7 hits in the game for Salt Lake. Barden is up even with the bag at third base. Got to figure he's coming home on anything hit to him. Carter even with the bag at first. And the first pitch on the way to Pride is swung on and bounced back up the middle. Drew dives, stabs it, flips to second for 1, relay to first. In time, a double play. The run will score to tie the game, but a fantastic piece of fielding by Stephen Drew. Drew moving to his left behind the bag was able to grab it, and his flip to Cayaspo was perfect. And a good turn by Alberto, a 6-4-3 double play. We're tied at 2, a runner at third base. And Casey Smith coming up. Well, that is a very, very nice piece of fielding. Smith is 1 for 2. He singled and fly to center. And the first pitch is swung on and missed. A splitter in the dirt. Hammock can't find it. And the runner at third, Mathis, bluffs down the line. But then retreats to the bag as Bass comes down off the mound screaming and pointing to Hammock where the baseball was. Mathis has to hold. And it's 1 ball and no strikes on Casey Smith. So no RBI on that play for Pride. But a 2-2 game now. Can Bass come back and retire Smith and keep it tied? I said 1-0. It's 0-1. Here's the kick and the delivery home. Fastball over the outside corner at the knees, and the count 0-2. Well, Adam Bass has already shown some guts here tonight. And this would be a big, big out. The 0-2 delivery on the way to Smith, swinging a line drive foul down the right field line, out of play, and we'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. Especially with Reggie Willits out on deck. And if you can retire Smith here and only allow 1 run, I mean, what a great piece of pitching that would be. Here comes another 0-2 pitch with Hammock set up away, and it's in the dirt, a slider. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, you look at Tucson, and we talk about the pitching they have had this year, both in the rotation and the bullpen. You talk about some of the hot bats. One thing we don't talk a lot about, defense. The 1-2 pitch from Bass, just low and outside with a slider. Good job by Smith to lay off, and the count 2-2. I mean, you look 3/4 of the starting infield. I think you would call, if not gold glove caliber, excellent defenders. The outfield is pretty good as well. Here comes the 2-2 from Bass. Fastball just missed off the outside corner. Now the count has gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So after jumping ahead of Smith 0-2, now it's 3-2. Willits, the leadoff hitter, out on deck. Bass set, and here it comes. Low and outside, it bounces past Hammock, goes to the screen, and Salt Lake is going to take the lead. And Bass screaming into his glove as he comes down off the mound. He had Smith down 0-2. He comes back not only to walk him, but throws a wild pitch that allows the go-ahead run to score as Mathis trots in from third. So a 3-2 lead now. And here comes Willits. Willits has walked, singled, and lined out to Chris Carter at first base. Well, that is a tough one. I mean, 1 strike away from getting out of the inning with the game tied, and you walk the guy, and it's a wild pitch. Here comes the first one to Willits, and a fastball is over at the knees for strike 1. And Bass, very frustrated with himself, put his glove up in front of his face and was just screaming as he came down off the mound to get the ball back from Hammond. Schultz looks like he's ready to go on the bullpen if they want to call on him. 0-1 the count, and Bass will toss over to first base, and back to the bag is Smith. Adam Pavkovich has come out of the Salt Lake dugout. He's on deck. So Pavkovich looks like he will hit for his Turris. The 0-1 pitch home. Willits bunts in the air, third base side. It is foul. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So Pavkovich probably going to come in the game for his Turris defensively. When we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, he'll get a chance to hit for him if Willits can extend the frame with a base hit. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Bass stares in for the side. Hammock puts it down. Hammock is moving away. And Bass kicks and deals. And a fastball is high and outside. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. A 3-2 Salt Lake lead. And a frustrating inning for the Sidewinders, who had just taken the lead on Hammock's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 5th. And Salt Lake comes right back to go out on top. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Bass. Long pause. And he'll throw over to first base, and Smith goes back to the bag. Haven't seen the Sidewinders pitch out yet tonight, although that 0-2 pitch was close. It wasn't a true pitch out, just a fastball high and outside, but Hammock came up ready to throw if need be. Now Bass ready again. Runner goes, 1-2 pitch. Swung on it, line foul, left side out of play. Salt Lake with 7 hits in the ball game. Single and a double to open the inning. Elward hit by a pitch. Pride grounds into the double play to bring home 1 run. And then a wild pitch scores the other. Vegas and Tacoma are in the top of the 5th inning. It's still the Rainiers 10 and the 51s 2. Bass with a 1-2 pitch. Runner going again. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line. Slicing away from Hairston. Falls in fair. Hairston has it roll past him towards the corner. All the way around to score is Smith. And Willits will go to second. It is 4-2 Salt Lake. Just a little fly ball down the left field line. And Hairston came over to try and make the play on it. And then as it bounced, it went past him. It took a funny hop, maybe on one of those dead spots out there. No error on the play. It's a double for Willits, an RBI, and Adam Bass is going to see his night come to an end. Well, that is really frustrating. I mean, Bass made good pitch after getting himself into trouble tonight. Got the double play behind him to tie the game, was ahead of Smith 0-2. Looked like maybe the inning was about to come to an end. But he walked him, a wild pitch, allowed a run to score, and then gives up that double to Willits, just a little flare down the left field line. So Bass, frustrated with himself, will exit, and Mike Schultz is on his way in from the bullpen. So a pitching change, breaking the action here in the top of the 6th inning. Salt Lake has scored 3 times. They have a man in scoring position. It is 4-2. We'll come back to Tucson Electric Park right after this.
Wednesdays at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. It's Buffet Barbecue Wednesday.
Now that's mighty interesting.
Partner, if it's a barbecue you like, it's a barbecue you're gonna get. Wednesday, Desert Diamond Casino's buffet is pulling out all the barbecue stuff. Yeehaw! Wednesdays at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. It's mouth-watering pulled pork barbecue to specialty fish entrees plus all your favorites.
You know what I'm talking about.
We're talking about barbecue so good, it's worth picking a fight over.
Really? You want to step outside, Pilgrim?
It's incredible barbecue every Wednesday in the buffet at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. Smoked, spicy, thick, delicious barbecue in every style you can think of.
Mighty impressive.
It's Buffet Barbecue Wednesday, only at Desert Diamond Casino I-19 at Pima Mine Road. For buffet hours and more information, call 520-393-2700 or check out the web at DesertDiamondCasino.com.
An enterprise of Ivana Automation.
Bill, this Hyundai team is loaded. I mean, we're talking talent at every position. Sonata, Tucson, Santa Fe, all backed by America's best warranty.
You know, everyone always thinks about Honda and Toyota.
But right now, this Hyundai team has the quality, safety, and value it takes to beat them.
Announcing the Hyundai Challenge, a season-long contest to prove who's really got what it takes. Come test drive the new Sonata and see for yourself why Motor Week says it simply outclasses the mighty Camry and Accord.
This Hyundai team is for real.
See dealer for limited warranty details.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
This call to the bullpen brought to you by Singular Wireless. Watch the Sidewinders roll over the competition while you roll over your minutes. Visit one of Singular's 5 Tucson locations today. Singular raising the bar. Mike Schultz on to work for Tucson, and he will face a pinch hitter. Adam Pavkovich is at the plate. Schultz ready to go as Willits leads away from second base. And the first pitch is a fastball that's too high. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Pavkovich batting .214 on the season with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. So his tourist night has come to an end. Schultz with the 1-0 pitch coming up to the right-handed hitting Pavkovich. It's on the way, and it's a fastball that's swung on and missed, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, for Adam Bass, a frustrating outing, 5 2/3 innings. He has allowed 4 runs so far. Boy, it looked like it was only going to be 2, and that's how this game goes sometimes. It can change in a hurry. Schultz with a 1-1 pitch to the plate. Over the inside corner for a strike. Pavkovich thought it was tight, but the umpire gets the call, and the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Numbers on the season for Schultz. He is appearing in his 15th game. He's 1-0 with a 4.05 ERA. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hammock puts down the sign, moving inside. Schultz at the belt, checks Willits. Willits dancing away from the bag. Now the pitch home. Fastball fouled back into the screen. A 4-2 Salt Lake lead, top of the 6th inning. Darren Erstad out on deck. Looks like Erstad's going to go the full 9 tonight. Pavkovich waiting, Schultz set. Another 1-2 pitch. That's to the dirt with a breaking ball, and Hammock is able to block it. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Salt Lake doing to Tucson what Tucson has done to some other teams as of late. Not only do they seize the lead, come right back after the other team has scored, but they put a crooked number up there. Now Tucson will have to respond again. Schultz trying to retire Pavkovich here to end the inning. The 2-2 is on the way, up and in with a fastball, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we have seen the Tucson pitchers be able to jump ahead of Salt Lake hitters, just haven't been able to finish them off. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Willits getting a big lead away from second base. Going to be tough to get him on any base hit to the outfield. Schultz set, kicks, deals, inside ball 4. Pavkovich walks. And now Erstad will come to the plate. So Schultz walks the first hitter he sees. Now Erstad, who's probably happy that Bass is gone. Erstad grounded back to the mound, grounded to second, and grounded to short. But now we'll have a chance to get a look here at Mike Schultz. 4-2 Salt Lake, top of the 6th inning. The way Dustin Mosley has been going, I don't know the Sidewinders can give up 2 more many runs. Schultz at the belt, and here comes his pitch to Erstad, high and outside with a fastball. The count 1 ball and no strikes, and now Hammock is going to go to the mound. Some lightning flashing behind the right field fence. The wind right now is picking up, but it's blowing out towards right field. Now, normally if there's rain on the way, the flags will blow the other way and go towards left. So I don't know that there's any rain in the immediate area. But those couple of lightning flashes off in the distance. Conference on the mound is over. 1 ball and no strikes on Erstad. Runners lead away from their bags. Willits at second, Pavkovich at first. And Schultz with the delivery home. And Erstad swings and lines to the left. That's a base hit. Willits hits the bag at third, coming around. Here comes Hairston's throw to the plate. It is on line, and Willits is out at the plate. Hairston cuts him down. A perfect throw from Scott Hairston. And Willits thought he had slid around Hammock, but the umpire calls it out. Willits slams his helmet down, doesn't argue, and Brian Harper on his way back to the dugout looks at the umpire, doesn't say anything, but a terrific throw from Hairston to end the inning. So Erstad will get a hit, but not an RBI. 7-2 on the putout, and the inning comes to an end. But Salt Lake gets 3 runs in the frame. They do it on 4 hits. No Tucson errors, and 2 men left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Salt Lake 4 and Tucson 2.
Celebrate your child's birthday with the Sidewinders at Tucson Electric Park. Let us take care of all the arrangements for a birthday party your child won't soon forget. Birthday packages for ages 3 through 12 include tickets, food, cake, souvenirs, PA and scoreboard recognition, and of course great Sidewinders baseball and a whole lot of fun. Call 434-1021 for more information and reserve your birthday package today. What could be better, a birthday and Sidewinders baseball? Call 434-1021 for more information. That's 434-1021.
Looking for a great deal? How about gift certificates at half off? On Cool1450.com, you can find half-off gift certificates that you can use at local businesses, such as Avanti Metaspa. $50 gift certificates for Avanti Metaspa are only $25, and they can be used for skin treatments that will help rejuvenate your skin, including Botox and laser hair removal. Just go to Cool1450.com and click on the Cool Deals banner. Quantities are limited, so check out the half-off gift certificates for Avanti Metaspa today from Cool1450.
When I had my stroke, my wife didn't know what to do. We both really felt helpless. I was so weak that I couldn't even open a pop bottle. Fortunately, my doctor sent me to Health South, and now I can do those things again. What I remember most about Health South are the physical therapists and nurses. Even at night when I needed to go to the bathroom, they were right there. I don't have enough good things to say about Health South.
For more information about Health South Rehabilitation Hospital of Southern Arizona, call 742-2800.
More Sidewinders action now on Cool 1450.
Defensive changes for Salt Lake as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Adam Paskovich will stay in the game, but he will go to third base. Casey Smith will go from third to short, and Meiser Torres is out of the ball game. It's a 4-2 Salt Lake lead, bottom of the sixth inning. Bees were able to answer Tucson's 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth. See if the Sidewinders can answer back here against Dustin Mosley. Tucson had just 1 hit against Mosley through the first 4 innings, but got 3 hits against him in the last inning. So here is Drew, and Mosley's first pitch misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Drew is lined into a double play and struck out tonight. Mosley reads his catcher Mathis, and now he's going to step off. He wants Mathis to run through the signs again. Now ready to go, and his 1-0 pitch to Drew. Fastball low and outside, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Drew looking for his first hit of the night. His 8-game hitting streak snapped on Tuesday. Here's the wind, the 2-0 pitch, and Drew swings and pops it foul off to the left and out of play. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Drew is now third in the PCL in hits. He has 70. Told you Tony Gwynn of Nashville leads with 75. Kai Aspo second with 72. Then Drew with 70. He has really taken a liking to the 3-hole in the lineup, batting .333 in 13 games there. Takes the fastball up high, and the count now 3-1. Drew was also a very good hitter, batting second. In 42 games there, he hit .306. But the average even better since his move to the third spot. Here's a 3-1 home. That's low. That's ball 4, and Drew draws the leadoff walk. So that's a good start for Tucson as they try and come back. Now here comes Scott Hairston. Perfect guy to have at the plate when you're looking for the tying run. Hairston is 0 for 2 tonight. Flied out to deep left center field and grounded out to short. But 15 home runs for Hairston, 45 RBIs. Hairston still second behind Gourneau, who does not have an RBI in the ball game tonight. Gourneau has walked a couple of times and has singled and scored a run, but has not driven in one, so he still sits at 46. Mosley at the belt. Here's his pitch, and a fastball is in there to Hairston. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Now, we've talked about this year how Stephen Drew will take a short lead away from first base. Oh, it's been a long time since Drew has even attempted a stolen base. The last time he tried one was May 16th against Memphis. The last time he was successful, April 18th at Salt Lake. The 0-1 pitch to Hairston, slider in the dirt, and it's blocked by the catcher, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. So Drew probably not going anywhere. Now I doubt anybody would be running right now with Hairston at the plate representing the tying run, but Drew ran a little bit early in the season, but has not done much of it at all as of late. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Hairston, up and in, look out. That fastball buzzed the tower, and Hairston, dropping down to his backside, was able to get out of the way. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike, and the home plate umpire is going to go out, dust off home plate, maybe give Hairston a little bit of a breather. I think Hairston reacted a little late to that ball, maybe didn't see it perfectly right away. I mean, that was right up near his helmet. Back in there now, 2 balls and a strike. Let's see if he goes with a breaking ball away. Mathis puts down the sign. Here it comes. Fastball popped up foul, back and out of play. And I'll tell you what, Hairston had a pitch to hit right there, and he just missed it. Just got underneath it and fouled it back. So the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Scott Hairston. A 4-2 Salt Lake lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Opener of this 4-game series between two division leaders. Salt Lake up in the American North by 4, and now a throw to first gets away, rolling down past the tarp. Drew's going to go around second. He's going to head to third. Chip Hale's going to stop him as the throw comes back in. Boy, the crowd wanted Drew to run, but Chip Hale stopped him at third base with nobody out. Mosley tried to catch Drew napping. He turned and fired over there, and it went way past Elward. And instead of getting trapped behind the tarp, it hit off the short wall and went all the way down into right field. So another throwing error on Mosley, his second of the game. Now Drew is at third base. And nobody out. The count 2-2 to Hairston. Two balls, two strikes. Infield is back now. Hairston has a chance to tie Gordo for the RBI lead with a ground ball. The 2-2 pitch home, low and outside with a curve. Hairston holds off, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So another opportunity here for Tucson. Salt Lake giving them a couple tonight. They haven't been able to capitalize. But their best RBI man at the plate now with Drew walking down the line at third. And the 3-2 pitch to Hairston. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. He gets rung up on a fastball. Hairston was on his way to first, but has to turn to an about face and head back to the dugout. And a big strikeout for Mosley. That is his third of the ball game. So with 1 down, now here is Chris Carter. Carter has walked and grounded out to second base. Carter has struggled this year with runners in scoring position, although he took advantage of his opportunity on Tuesday night. Here's the first pitch, and he checks his swing on a pitch that was low. They appeal, and no swing, says the third base umpire. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Carter this year, a 133 hitter, 8 for 60 with runners in scoring position. But he did go 1 for 1 on Tuesday night. 1-0 the count to him. Here comes the pitch. Fastball low. Snap throw to third, and Drew is just able to get back to the bat. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Well, this is one of those opportunities Tucson really has to take advantage of. You get a runner at third with nobody out. You got to find a way to get at least him in. Infield is still back. Carter in a favorable hitter's count, 2-0. Mosley set at the belt. And here's his pitch. Fastball high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And it's Quentin now that is out on deck. A 4-2 Bees lead. Does Carter get turned loose 3-0? Mosley's pitch is on the way. Fastball, strike on the outside corner. And the count is now 3-1. Gave you some of the PCL scores a little bit earlier. Let's check on what's going on around the major leagues. Diamondbacks opening a series against the Mets tonight and facing El Duque. The 3-1 pitch to Carter, swinging a shot to second. Kendrick goes down to scoop it up. He'll throw to first. Carter is out there. In to score, though, is Drew. And on Carter's 24th RBI, it's now a 4-3 game. So Carter hit it hard right at Kendrick. He will get the RBI. Tucson does take advantage of the gift. And now Quentin will come up with Tucson trailing by a run. Diamondbacks trailing the Mets 7-0 in the top of the 9th inning. And Arizona has just 2 hits. Carlos Beltran has hit his 15th home run for New York. Here's the line in the first pitch to Quentin, and he takes a fastball, belt high for a strike, and the count 0-1. El Duque, 8 innings of work, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Claudio Vargas pounded tonight. Here's the pitch, fastball, strike on the inside corner, and Quentin turns around and says, "You have got to be kidding me." He thought that pitch was in. The count 0-2, and Quentin still talking to him about it. Vargas, 7 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Greg Aquino pitched an inning in his return to the big leagues, 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Quentin still talking to the umpire as he gets back into the box. Down to the count, 0-2. Mosley winds, and here it comes. Swing and a pop-up. Shallow center field. Racing on is Erstad. Over towards right center. Calling for it. He'll make the catch. and the inning is over. But the Sidewinders do get a run back. They are a run closer now. No hits in the inning. There was an error and nobody left. We will head to the 7th inning. It is Salt Lake 4 and Tucson 3.
Phil, this Hyundai team is loaded. I mean, we're talking talent at every position. Sonata, Tucson, Santa Fe, all backed by America's best warranty.
You know, everyone always thinks about Honda and Toyota.
But right now, this Hyundai team has the quality, safety, and value it takes to beat them.
Announcing the Hyundai Challenge, a season-long contest to prove who's really got what it takes. Come test drive the new Sonata and see for yourself why Motor Week says it simply outclasses the mighty Camry and Accord.
This Hyundai team is for real.
See dealer for limited warranty details.
Experience live entertainment every Friday and Saturday night at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. And enjoy Tucson's best food and drink specials every weekend at Arizona's finest casino, Casino del Sol. And for even more Vegas-like entertainment, check out ABBA Amphitheater's concert schedule featuring Johann Sebastian, Tim Bandera, Martina McBride, and more. Tickets available at ABBAconcerts.com, the Club Soul box office, and Ticketmaster. Casino del Sol, just like Vegas, only closer. Enterprises of the Pasquayaki Tribe.
Start your week off right with the Tucson Sidewinders and Margaritaville Mondays. All this season at Tucson Electric Park, fans will enjoy 2-for-1 margaritas at our cabana bars while relaxing and enjoying exciting Sidewinders baseball. Get your tickets now by calling 434-1021 or by logging on to our website at TucsonSidewinders.com. Join us all season long for Margaritaville Mondays. Call now to reserve your seat. 434-1021. Margaritaville Mondays and the Sidewinders, the perfect way to start your week.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
Hey fans, so Mr. Chance to win a new PT Cruiser from Steve Christie Chrysler Jeep in our Drive It Home and Win contest. If a player hits a home run through the magic target in the outfield, the lucky fan will win a convertible PT Cruiser. So cross your fingers and drive it home in a new PT Cruiser from Steve Christie Chrysler Jeep. You can register next to the PT Cruiser display on the right center field concourse, and you must be present to win. Howie Kendrick is going to lead off against Mike Schultz here in the top of the 7th inning. It's been a close one all night. Salt Lake with a 4-3 lead. Kendrick tonight has singled, doubled, and grounded out to short. So the league's leading hitter will get his first look at Mike Schultz, who came on and walked Adam Pavkovich. Gave up a single to Darren Erstad, but Reggie Willits cut down at the plate to end the Salt Lake 6th inning. Now Schultz facing Kendrick, and the first pitch is down low with a breaking ball. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Kendrick, in addition to being a very good average hitter, also has some pop. He has hit 7 home runs. He has driven in 40. Schultz with a 1-0 delivery to home plate. Low with a sinking fastball. The count now 2 balls and no strikes. Kendrick, a guy that is basically a line drive hitter, although if you read the scouting reports, they do think at some point he will be a home run guy, at least 15 to 20 home runs. That fastball misses low, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Kendrick's probably never going to be a 30 home run guy, but heck, if you go to the big leagues and hit 350 along with 15, I think that's pretty good. The 3-0 pitch to him is a strike over the inside corner, knee high, and the count now 3-1. Baseball America says about Kendrick, he could not only win a batting title, but multiple batting titles in the big leagues. 3-1 pitch, line drive right center field. That's a base hit. Hustling over to cut it off is Kenny Perez. He'll get to it in the alley, but Kendrick's already on his way to second, and he has got his second double of the night. Howie Kendrick is 3 for 4. Well, this guy can hit. I mean, when Chad Tracy was here, we watched him all year. You knew Chad Tracy was going to hit. Didn't matter where he was playing. Rec league, softball, or the major leagues, he was going to hit. Connor Jackson, same type of thing. You know Connor Jackson is going to hit. I've seen Howie Kendrick now over 3 series this year. Howie Kendrick is going to hit wherever he may be. Here's the first pitch, and it is fouled back by Gourneau. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. I mean, Kendrick is a confident hitter with 2 strikes on him. He can fight off tough pitches that might ride in on his hands. He can take the pitch away to right center field. He has all the tools. He's just a tough out for anybody. Schultz set at the belt. Here comes his pitch to Gourneau, swinging a foul back into the screen, and the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Now, we mentioned when Kendrick was up with the Angels, It was a brief stay, 10 games. He got 26 at-bats, and he only went 3 for 26. That's a 115 average. But there have been plenty of guys that have gotten off to slow starts. Two of the prominent names that come to mind, Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. Now, I'm not saying that Kendrick is going to be Mays or Mantle, but those guys got off to pretty slow starts in their big league careers. 0-2 to Gorneau is low and inside, and the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kendrick, too, keep in mind, when he was with the Angels, was playing out of position a little bit. They needed a first baseman at that point, so they slid him over there just to get his bat in the lineup. Of course, Kendry Morales is now patrolling first. It's a 1-2 pitch. Good breaking ball, but it just missed off the outside corner. And the count now 2-2 to Gorneau. And you look at the Angels farm system and you say that all the hype, all the rankings, it was well deserved. Guys that have been promoted have done their job at the big league level. 2-2 to Gorneau. And Schultz with the pitch home. Just missed again with a fastball. Boy, was that close on the outside corner. Schultz doesn't get it. Now the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a theme tonight. Tucson pitchers have gotten ahead and just had a difficult time finishing off the Salt Lake Bees. 3-2 the count to Gorneau. And here's the pitch. Swing and a foul right down in the batter's box. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Randy Choate is up and loosening now for the Sidewinders down in the bullpen. Give you some of the other Major League scores. Told you about what the Diamondbacks are doing tonight against the Mets. Arizona now batting bottom of the 9th inning, still trailing 7-0. El Duque in search of a complete game win. Pittsburgh is on top of San Francisco 4-2, top of the 7th. The 3-2 pitch again to Gorneau. Line drive towards right. Here comes Perez. He will dive, and he makes the catch. Terrific play by Kenny Perez, charging in from right field to dive and make the play. And Gorneau is out. 1 down. And that'll bring Jeff Mathis to the plate. Well, Pittsburgh and San Francisco, supposed to be a matchup of Barry Bonds against his old team, but Bonds was questionable tonight, and he did not start for San Francisco. He may not play in that entire series after injuring his side the other night. Milwaukee wins today, beating San Diego 4-3. That was in 10 innings. Derek Turnbow got the victory. Billy Hall, his 14th home run. Schultz will spin and look Hendrick back to the second base bag. Josh Barfield hit his 4th home run for San Diego. Washington over Philadelphia 5-2. Alfonso Soriano hit his 23rd home run. Don't forget about Soriano. All the talk about Pujols and what he was doing. Don't forget about Soriano. Here comes the first pitch to Mathis. Good breaking ball that snaps over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Cincinnati beat the Cubs. Chicago's woes continue. 7-1. Bronson Arroyo over Glendon Rush. Ryan Field, Brandon Phillips, David Ross homer for Cincinnati. Tony Womack went deep for the Cubs. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball popped up. Carter's got this one lined up at first base. Makes the catch. And just like that, there's 2 away. So with 2 down, now the inning left in the hands of Elward, who is fly to right, line to third, and been hit by a pitch. Oh, by the way, Kerry Wood also went back to see the doctor today because his shoulder is hurting again. And so more bad news for Cub fans. Mark Pryor is going to make 2 more rehab starts. That's not bad news. The bad news is Wood. Pryor's going to make 2 more rehab starts. He is going to pitch for the Iowa Cubs, but it's going to be in New Orleans after he makes a start at AA, West Tennessee. Houston won tonight. They beat Atlanta 7-4. Here's Schultz with the first pitch. Runner going. Fastball, and Hammock trips and falls. And are they going to call interference? They're going to send him back to second base. So Kendrick's going to have to go back to second. I believe the count is 1-0. Hammock got up to throw, and he tripped and fell. And I'm wondering if he tripped over the umpire, and that's why he's sending him back. Count is 1 ball and no strikes on Elward. And Hammock came up, and the umpire pointed at himself. And I think he was saying he tripped because of me, so he sends the runner back to second base. So Kendrick still at second, 1-0 the count on Elward. And Schultz brings the hands down below the belt. He kicks and comes to the plate, and a fastball is swung on and missed. Tied him up on the inside corner, and the count now 1-1. Over the American League, how about this one? Kansas City beat Texas 16-12. Jimmy Gobble over Maye. There was only 3 home runs hit in the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. And here it comes. Sinking fastball low, and the count now 2-1. Kansas City had a 4-0 lead after 1. Texas led 11-4 after 2.5. It was 11-8 after the 3rd inning. Kansas City scored 6th in the 7th. They win it 16-12. Tigers won tonight, beat the White Sox 6-2. Kenny Rogers now 8-3. The 2-1 pitch to Elward, swinging a ground ball, softly hit, past the mound towards second. Drew charges, has it, throws to first in time. The inning is over, and more nice pitching. After a leadoff double from Howie Kendrick, Schultz gets the next 3 batters and leaves Kendrick at second base. For the Bees in the 7th, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. It's time to stretch him out at TEP. And if your time is stretched in, let Homevestors help. Homevestors is America's #1 home buyer. We make selling your home simple, fast, and convenient, and we buy houses in any condition. Call Homevestors today for more information at 1-800-44-BUYER. 4-3 Salt Lake. We'll come back right after this.
At Homevestors, we don't only buy ugly houses. Just ask Bonnie Frame.
It was time for my mom to move out of her home that she'd had for over 50 years and move closer to my husband and I.
Homevestors can also help you out of an ugly situation.
Honesty was always there. If they made an appointment or said they would do something, it happened.
Call Homevestors at 1-800-44-BUYER. 1-800-44-BUYER. Or visit us online at WeBuyUglyHouses.com.
My mother was very, very happy, and to me, that's what we were going for.
Buying insurance from a 1-800 number may sound like a good idea, but your home is one of the largest purchases you'll make. As your local auto owner's agent, we stand by you when you really need us, when you need to make a claim. So don't make the 1-800 mistake when it comes to your peace of mind. Give us a call. Your local auto owner's agent, the no problem people.
Here at Hyundai's Proving Grounds, we subjected our new Sonata to a series of brutal tests. But the ultimate test is your test drive. Announcing the Hyundai Challenge, a bold invitation to discover Sonata, the mid-size sedan with 6 standard airbags, standard electronic stability control, and America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. So before you pay thousands more than you have to on a Camry or a Ford, visit our best proving ground, your Hyundai dealer. Safety belts, delivery warranty, see dealer for limited warranty detail.
You're hearing Sidewinders baseball action on Cool 1450.
Singular call to the bullpen brought to you by Singular Wireless. Watch the Sidewinders roll over the competition while you roll over your minutes. Visit one of Singular's 5 Tucson locations today. Singular, raising the bar. Lefty Jonathan Rowenhorst will be called on for the 24th time this year. Rowenhorst 2-4 with a 5.59 ERA and 1 save. He has worked 29 innings, given up 30 hits, 19 runs, 18 earned. He has walked 12, struck out 21. And the league hitting .263 against him. Rowenhorst has been touched up by the Sidewinders this year for 4 earned runs and 7 hits in 5 innings. He is 0-1 with a 7.20 ERA. He'll face Brian Barden to lead off in the bottom of the 7th inning, and a fastball is high and outside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Barden, Perez, and Hammock for Tucson. A 4-3 Salt Lake lead. Here's the wind and the 1-0 delivery. Fastball right down Broadway for a called strike. And the count is now 1-1. Barden tonight has popped his second and reached on a bunt single. Here comes the pitch. And it's high and outside from the Salt Lake lefty. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. I mentioned earlier that the Salt Lake bullpen has really struggled this year. They have just 10 saves in 23 opportunities. The 2-1 pitch coming home. Barden swings and drives it foul right side out of play. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, Greg Jones got a save at Fresno on Tuesday. That was the first for the Salt Lake bullpen since May 18th against Oklahoma. So their relievers have definitely been the weak link. The 2-2 pitch to Barden. That's low and inside, and the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Can Tucson take advantage of the bullpen tonight? Trailing by 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rowenhorst kicks that leg back. Winds, and the 3-2 pitch home is swung on and line foul right side into the seats. And it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Final line on Dustin Mosley tonight. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3 through 89 pitches. Another 3-2 pitch will be on the way to Brian Barton, and here it comes, and it's inside ball 4. And Barton draws a walk to lead off in the 7th inning. So with Barton aboard, Kenny Perez at the plate. Now Perez came up back in the 5th inning with 2 on and nobody out. He turned a bunt on the first pitch, took it for a strike. The bunt was then taken off, and Perez grounded into a double play. So will they ask him to lay down the sacrifice here? Kenny has reached on an error and grounded into that double play tonight, so he is 0 for 2. Rauenhorst from the stretch. And the pitch, no sign of a bunt, and that's a breaking ball at the knees for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Final line on Adam Bass, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 4 runs all earned. He walked 4, struck out 1. And Bass right now is on the hook for the loss. 0-1 to Kenny Perez. Barton leads away from first base. And Rauenhorst kicks, and now Perez shortens the bunt and takes one down and in. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Rauenhorst had a save opportunity this year against the Sidewinders and blew it. 0-1 record. Mentioned an ERA up over 7.20. One ball, 1 strike. And here comes the pitch with Perez shortening the bunt. He takes low, and the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, we saw it in the series with Portland. Well, I think it was Adam Bass that was trying to sacrifice, and he ended up getting walked because they couldn't throw him a strike. Perez ahead 2-1. Will they keep the bunt on or let him swing away? Tons of room on the left side for Perez. Rauenhorst with the 2-1 pitch. Nope, toss over to first base, and Barton will go dancing back to the bag. Third baseman Pavkovich is up towards the grass, anticipating the bunt. The shortstop Smith is over near the bag at second. Kendrick is deep at second base. 2 balls and a strike to count. Now Pavkovich creeping in at third. Perez squares the bunt and bunts it first base side. This is going to be a tough play. Here's the flip to the pitcher, Rauenhorst, who barehands it and steps on the bag. Well, that was well placed by Kenny Perez. Elward came charging in, made the flip to Rauenhorst on the run. It was behind him, but Rauenhorst reached back and barehanded it. So the sacrifice successful. 3-1 rather. And with Barton in scoring position, now here comes Robbie Hammock, who is grounded to second and hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. So Hammock now has hit in 12 of his last 14 games. He came up to me during batting practice the other day and said, I swear I'm going to have another multi-hit game before the season's over. He's had 4 of them this year. But if you look, lately, Hammock has had 1 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit. He said, I'm going to get that multi-hit game. A base hit here could tie it up. Rauenhorst at the belt, and his first one to Hammock, he takes over the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Hammock now has driven in 14 runs this season. Tucson trailing by 1. It is 4-3. Rauenhorst with a long look in at Mathis. Kendrick bluffing towards second base, trying to keep Barton close. Here comes Rauenhorst with the 0-1 pitch, up and in with a fastball, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Baltimore won tonight, beat Toronto by a score of 7-5. Boston over the Yankees 9-3. Kurt Schilling goes to 9-2. Minnesota beats Seattle 7-3. Johan Santana is 6-4 after a bad start to the season. And it was Oakland over Cleveland 4-1. The 1-1 pitch to Hammock, swinging a foul back into the screen, and the count now 1-2. Esteban Loaiza got the win today for Oakland. And he pitched very well. He has had a disastrous start to his season. Went on the disabled list, had a brief rehab with Sacramento. Now back pitching with the A's today. Went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run. He struck out 5. 1-2 to count on Hammock. And the pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Right field, Nick Gorneau almost in his tracks. Now coming on 3 or 4 steps. Will make the grab. Barton can't go anywhere. And there's 2 away. So it'll be up to Cayaspo to deliver. Cayaspo has flied out twice tonight. He drew a walk in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. Been telling you what he has done all season with runners in scoring position at 2 outs. A .444 hitter. And Tucson could use one right here. Barton at second base, runs pretty well. Outfield for Salt Lake, playing deep. That breeze picking up, blowing out towards right field. Mathis puts down the sign. Rowenhorst staring in, still staring, and now he steps off the back of the rubber. 4 runs on 10 hits tonight for Salt Lake. 3 runs on 4 hits for Tucson. Barton away from the bag, checking to see who's near him. Nobody is. Rowenhorst ready for the first pitch to Cayaspo, batting right-handed, and he takes a breaking ball over the outside corner. It's called strike 1. Now, Cayaspo has had his average on the rise batting right-handed. He's also had his average on the rise here at home. Coming into tonight, Cayaspo had upped his home average to around the 270 mark. The 0-1 pitch. Cayaspo takes the fastball inside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 270 exactly for Cayaspo coming into tonight at home. 364 on the road. 1 ball, 1 strike to it. Barton again getting a big lead away from second base. Rowenhorst kicks and deals, and Cayaspo takes up and in with a fastball. The count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Cayaspo's 11-game hitting streak may be on the line right here. Does not have a hit yet in the ball game tonight. He is in search of his 28th RBI. Remember, his only home run of the season came against Salt Lake. 2-1 the count. And Rowenhorst checks Barton, deals to the plate, swinging a line drive foul down the right field line, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diamondbacks scored a run in the bottom of the 9th inning, but they do lose to the Mets by a score of 7-1. Pittsburgh still leads San Francisco 4-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Everything else is final, and we gave you those scores. 2-2 to Cayaspo. And the pitch inside, almost hit him with a fastball. Now the count has gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Portland leads Sacramento 10-5. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tacoma is pouring it on against Vegas. It's now 14-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Looks like Choda's going to come on and work in the 8th inning. He's walking around in the bullpen. Rowenhorst shakes off the catcher Mathis once. And now the 3-2 pitch. And here it comes. Outside and high, ball 4, and Cayaspo draws the walk. Well, good at bat by Cayaspo. He wasn't going to chase anything out of the strike zone. He was going to hit his pitch. So Rowenhorst has walked 2 in the inning. Now here comes Chris Young. And this is a tough spot for CY because lefties have given him problems all season long. Young hitting just 146 against southpaws. He is 6 for 41. He does not have a home run. He does not even have 1 RBI against left-handed pitchers this year. Well, no better time to turn that around than right here. A 4-3 Salt Lake lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mathis moving inside. And the pitch floats high and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Now, Drew is out on deck. Drew has actually hit better against lefties than he has against righties for some unknown reason. A lot of the Tucson hitters are like that. When you go through and look, the lefties hit better against lefties and righties hit better against righties. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Chris Young. Fastball, strike on the outside corner. A bluff of a throw to first base by Mathis. Didn't offer. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Young, a .333 hitter against right-handers, but just .146 against lefties. 1-1 the count to him. Barton just eagerly waiting to try and run from second base. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Young swings and pops it foul off to the right. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drew, who's out on deck, has hit .345 against left-handed pitching this year. But for him to get to the plate, Young's going to have to find a way to get aboard. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, a 4-3 Salt Lake lead. Barton away from second base, Cayaspo away from first. Rowenhorst set at the belt. And his 1-2 pitch home is swung on and missed. Young strikes out on a high fastball, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We will go to the 8th. It is Salt Lake 4 and Tucson 3.
Are you moving, trying to make more room at home, or just need some more space in your garage? Do you need a place for your stuff that's secure, temperature-controlled, or just convenient? Or have you been putting off your storage needs because you don't have a way to get it all there? You need to call A-Atlas Discount Storage. With 13 convenient locations, A-Atlas has room for your stuff, big or small, and we'll let you use our moving truck free. Plus, we'll meet or beat any price, and there will never be a rate increase. So what are you waiting for? Call or stop by any of the 13 A-Atlas locations. A-Atlas, we've got room for your stuff.
Experience live entertainment every Friday and Saturday night at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. And enjoy Tucson's best food and drink specials every weekend at Arizona's finest casino, Casino del Sol. And for even more Vegas-like entertainment, check out Ava Amphitheater's concert schedule featuring Joan Sebastian, Sin Bandera, Martina McBride, and more. Tickets available at avaconcerts.com, the Club Sol box office, and Ticketmaster. Casino del Sol, just like Vegas, only closer. Enterprises of the Pasquayaki Tribe.
Every Sunday at Tucson Electric Park is a Dollar Dog Sunday. Enjoy great Sidewinders baseball and $1 hot dogs all game long on Sundays throughout the season. Tickets are available now at the Sidewinders box office or by calling 434-1021. That's 434-1021. Come see the Sidewinders and enjoy dollar hot dogs every Sunday throughout the 2006 season. Call today for ticket information at 434-1021 or log on to TucsonSidewinders.com.
This is Cool 1450, home of Sidewinders baseball action.
This call to the bullpen brought to you by Singular Wireless. Watch the Sidewinders roll over the competition while you roll over your minutes. Visit one of Singular's 5 Tucson locations today. Singular, raising the bar. Lefty Randy Choate has come on to work for Tucson. It's his 30th appearance of the year. Choate 3-0 with a 2.61 ERA and 5 saves. He has worked in 31 innings. He's given us 28 hits, 11 runs, 9 earned. He has walked 4, struck out 28, and the league hitting .239 against him. And we talk about how Choate has struggled this year against Fresno. Well, it's exactly the opposite against the Bees. He has pitched in 5 games against them and has not allowed an earned run. He will face Curtis Pride leading off in the 8th inning. Salt Lake 4, Tucson 3. Pride is 1 for 3, singled back in the 4th inning. Grounded into a double play that tied the game in the 6th. Choate into the windup. Here comes his pitch, and Pride waves and misses. It went off the outside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. I said Choate pitched in 5 games against Salt Lake. He has pitched in 3 games against Salt Lake. 5 1/3 innings in those 3 games. 5 hits, has not allowed a run. He has struck out 4, hasn't walked anybody. And facing Curtis Pride, the veteran left-hander who walks outside the batter's box. Pride looks like he hurt himself or something. Took some time and flexed out his hand. Took a couple of practice cuts. Still flexing his hand. As he gets back into the box, his right hand, I'm not sure what happened. He doesn't look very comfortable right now, though. Here comes Choate's 0-1 pitch, and that's in there for a strike with a slider. And the count 0-2. Well, just a 1-run game. Tucson has 6 outs with which to work tonight. If they lose, and if the other results around the league or the other games around the league stay the way they are, Tucson will maintain a 1.5 game edge on Vegas. Here's the 0-2 delivery home, swinging a bouncing ball right side. Tyaspo to his left, has it, throws to Carter in time. And Pride is retired 4-3. There's 1 away. Of course, the way it's been going lately, if Vegas loses, you'd like to pick up ground because it seems like every time the Sidewinders have won, so is Vegas. And they can't extend that lead at all. But you can't win every night. Tucson, though, as I mentioned, still 6 outs with which to work in this game, and they're going to have the middle of their order coming up in the 8th inning. Here's the first pitch to Casey Smith, the switch hitter, now batting right-handed, and he looks at a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the pitch from Choate, another fastball, another strike. That one's at the knees, and the count is now 0-2, and that throw back to the mound went right off the glove of Choate. Rolls out towards Drew at shortstop. So 0-2 on Casey Smith. He has singled, fly to center, walked, and scored a run. Choate up on top. He kicks. He comes home. Fastball inside. Moves Smith off the plate. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fresno, meanwhile, down at the bottom of the division. 9.5 games out. They were losing to Colorado Springs at last check, and they did lose 4-3. Zach Parker beat Pedro Liriano. 1-2 pitch, just low and inside. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Fresno will either stay 9.5 back or drop to double digits. They could be 10.5 off the pace. Here's the 2-2. That just missed the outside corner. And the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Seems like it's been a familiar refrain tonight. 0-2 to 3-2. Joe takes a deep breath, now toes the rubber. Here comes the payoff pitch to Casey Smith. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Smith down on strikes. Choate with his first K, 2 outs. And now back to the top of the lineup for Reggie Willits. Well, Willits tonight has been a thorn in Tucson's side. He walked and scored in the first inning, singled in the second, lined out to Carter at first base in the 4th inning, then had an RBI double in the 6th. So it doesn't seem to matter if it's Eric Ibar or Reggie Willits. The top of the lineup for Salt Lake produces against Tucson. Here's the line of the pitch to Willits, and a fastball is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Choate tonight doing what he normally does, working quickly, pounding the strike zone, and getting outs. Here comes his 0-1 to Willits, and that's a strike right in there, and the count 0-2. Choate really has Salt Lake off balance right now. I mean, he has thrown some pitches right down the middle, and Salt Lake just can't pull the trigger. They can't find it. Willits out of the box for a moment, now back in, switch hitter batting right-handed. And the 0-2 delivery home just missed the outside corner. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drew, Hairston, and Carter coming up for Tucson in the bottom of the 8th inning. So 4-3, Salt Lake lead. Hammock puts down the sign, and Choate's 1-2 to the plate. High bouncer off the plate towards first, but foul. Carter charges and picks the short hop, but well into foul territory. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Albuquerque, by the way, finished off Memphis. And all Albuquerque did was score 18 runs on 23 hits. They had 4 4-run innings in the game. Did it in the 4th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Reggie Willits. Choate ready to work the pitch inside, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason Vargas picked up the win for Albuquerque. Beating John Webb, Mike Colangelo hit his 5th home run. Well, how about that in the major leagues? Texas and Kansas City combined for 28 runs. There's only 3 homers hit in that game. As a 2-2 to Willits, a shot foul over the dugout first base side up into the seats. Albuquerque scores 18 runs. They only hit 1 home run. Now the race is on for the baseball as it bounces back down, and a guy in about the 7th row just reached behind him and picked it up. There was guys diving over the seats. A dog pile was forming. And a guy down there behind the dugout casually reached behind him, picked it up. Of course, the other guys that were chasing it, they might have been seeing 3 baseballs. Who knows? Here's the 2-2 home. And that missed a little bit low, I guess. And the count now 3-2 to Willits. So for the 2nd straight hitter, Choate has gotten ahead. But now it has gone back to full. He was able to retire Smith on a swinging strike 3. Can he do the same to Willits? Here it comes. Swing and a ground ball, left side. Barton moving to his left. Has it. 360 spin. Throws to Carter. In time. Willits is out, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Salt Lake 4 and Tucson 3.
Hello, this is Sherry Espinoza, one of the many professionals who work on the Paul Ash Management team here in Tucson. Paul Ash Management Company offers a variety of luxury apartment rentals for every budget and lifestyle. Whatever area of town you're looking for, Paul Ash Management has quality apartments managed by people who care about you. Visit our website soon and tour all of our communities online at paulashmgt.com, or stop by and visit any of our communities throughout Tucson for what we like to call the complete package. We know you'll like what you see. For a luxury Eastside rental, call me at the Tanca Verde Apartments at 886-8469.
Looking for a real estate agent to help you buy or sell a home? Why not designate a hitter who can knock the ball out of the park? Visit Century21.com and add the power and experience of a Century 21 sales associate to your team. They bring local expertise backed by industry-leading technology and marketing tools. No matter what the residential area, your real estate experience will be a grand slam. Go to Century21.com for complete listings of sales associates, offices, and homes in the Tucson area. Century 21, a proud sponsor of the Tucson Sidewinders, each office independently owned and operated. Film Creations Limited has provided Southern Arizona and the world with high-quality, low-cost video production for over 25 years. Our full-service facility features a multitude of digital editing and production toys designed to make you look better than your competition. Not to mention, Film Creations offers clients the option of producing all of their commercials, training videos, and marketing videos in high definition for the same price our competitors charge for standard def. So when you see something you like, chances are Film Creations did it. Give us a call at 624-4444 or visit us at filmcreations.com.
Tucson Sidewinders baseball action continues on Cool 1450.
Jonathan Rauenhorst back to work for Salt Lake. Bottom of the 8th inning, it's 4-3. The Bees are on top. Sidewinders have 3, 4, and 5 in their order coming up. Stephen Drew will lead off. He walked and scored leading off in the 6th inning. If he can pull the same trick here, it would tie the game. So Drew in there in a lefty-lefty matchup. We told you in the last inning that Stephen hits southpaws better than he hits righties. Rauenhorst winds. Here's the pitch, and Drew takes the fastball high, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Drew a .345 hitter against lefties, and against righties, Drew is hitting .299. The 1-0 pitch, fastball low and outside, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Drew waits. Rauenhorst winds. And the pitch, that's high with a fastball. Now the count is 3 balls and no strikes. So 3-0 on Stephen Drew. Here's the wind from Rauenhorst, and the pitch, and that's in there for a strike, and the count now 3-1. 5,032 on hand here tonight for a thirsty Thursday at Tucson Electric Park. Fireworks tomorrow night. Come on out and join us, 7 o'clock, first pitch. 3-1 pitch. Drew swings, rolls over on it, bounces to the right side. Kendrick has it from the outfield grass. Throws to first, and Drew is out. Kendrick going to his left, reached down and got it. And his throw had to be right on the money, and it was. So Drew, after getting the count in his favor, grounds out to second. And with 1 away, now here comes Hairston. Well, when that ball was hit, I thought maybe Elward should have gone over and tried to make a play on it. He just ran to the bag. Kendrick, showing great range to his left, went over and made the play. You know, the scouting reports on Howie Kendrick are that his defense isn't all that great, but so far tonight, he's been pretty good. Hairston is 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Rauenhorst winds and comes home, and Hairston takes a big swing and a miss at a changeup down and away. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Tucson trying to get a rally going some way, somehow. Hairston can be a one-man rally. He was the other night against Portland in the 8th inning, tying up the ball game. The 0-1 pitch. Here's a swing and a foul off to the right out of play. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. And so far, Rauenhorst has stayed away from Hairston. Now, I wouldn't be surprised here to see him come in, maybe just to set up another pitch away. But with Hairston, if you're going to come inside, you better miss off the plate, because you leave it out near the center, and Scotty can hammer it. Rauenhorst waiting on Hairston to get back in. Hairston is in there now. Here's the wind. The 0-2 pitch is on the way, and it is inside with a fastball. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So, will Rauenhorst come inside again and double up, or will he try and work him back away, maybe with something off speed? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield is deep. Erstad a step or 2 towards left center field. The 1-2 to Hairston. Swing and a shot foul over by the Sidewinder dugout, third base side. And we'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Hairston flied to center in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to short in the 4th. He struck out looking in the 6th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. And Rauenhorst ready to go. Mathis moving inside again. The pitch, swinging a ground ball, left side, picked by Pavkovich, down to his knees, gets up, throws to first, and Hairston is out. Pavkovich stumbled as he picked that ball up, but was able to recover and get Hairston by a step. So back-to-back ground balls, 2 outs. And now here is Chris Carter, who has walked and grounded out twice. He did pick up an RBI with his ground out in the 6th inning, his 24th RBI of the season. Well, if Carter doesn't reach base here, Quentin's going to lead off in the 9th inning. It'll be Quentin, Barden, and Perez. Rowenhorst winds, and here comes the pitch to Carter. And that's a breaking ball that's low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Greg Jones up and throwing down in the Salt Lake bullpen. Jones, I guess you'd call him the closer for the Bees, even though he hasn't had a ton of success in that role. Rowenhorst winds, the 1-0 pitch on the way to Carter. And that's up high with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Jones has 5 saves this year, but he has had 11 save opportunities. The 2-0 pitch is on the way to Carter, and that's taken low, and the count now 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Rowenhorst walked 2 in the 7th inning, fell behind Drew 3-0 before retiring him on a ground ball. Now falls behind Carter 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. And a fastball is right down Broadway for a called strike, and it's 3-1. Activity down in the Tucson bullpen. Tony Pena is up and throwing for the Sidewinders. 3-1 the count on Carter. And here it comes. Swing and a foul back into the screen. You talk about a drop and drive swing. That's what Carter just had right there. I mean, he was trying to hit that one a country mile and fouled it back. So now it's 3-2. Carter with 7 home runs, had 3 the other night. Rowenhorst nods yes. And his 3-2 pitch is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Carter must have been looking for something else. He strikes out, and the 8th inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the 9th. It's the Bees 4 and the Sidewinders 3.
Here at Hyundai's Proving Grounds, we subjected our Tucson and Santa Fe to a series of grueling all-weather trials. Now it's your turn to drive. Announcing the Hyundai Challenge, a bold invitation to compare our award-winning SUVs to Honda and Toyota. With Hyundai, you get quality backed by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you save thousands. The versatile Tucson, the family-friendly Santa Fe. 2 more reasons to visit our best proving ground. Your Hyundai dealer. See dealer for limited warranty details.
Sidewinders fans, if you're looking for the best value in wireless, look no further than Singular. Only Singular offers you rollover, which allows you to keep your unused anytime minutes month after month for a full year. And now Singular wants you to catch this great deal. Get $25 off any phone and a free accessory up to a $29.99 value with a new 2-year service agreement. Stop by Singular's booth during the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home games, or visit one of the 5 Tucson store locations any day of the week. Hurry, this is a limited time offer, so act now and start enjoying rollover minutes from Singular. Singular, raising the bar.
Now that the Sidewinder season is underway, see what Cats More Than a Game truly means by reserving your next company, school, association, or religious organization picnic with the Sidewinders. We can host any size party from 25 people and up. We offer several private group areas around the ballpark with complete catering services. Find out why the best value in Tucson is also the easiest event you'll ever plan. Call the group department today at 434-1021. Catch More Than a Game as a group. Call today.
More Sidewinders action now on Cool 1450.
Another singular call to the bullpen as we enter the 9th inning. Tony Pena is going to come on for Tucson. And for Pena, it's his 7th appearance. He's 0-1 with a 4.05 ERA and no saves. He did blow one out in Fresno. 6 2/3 innings for Pena. 7 hits, 3 runs. They're all earned. He has walked 1. He has struck out 6. And the league hitting 250 against him. Well, Pena is going to have a difficult assignment here. He gets Pavkovich, Erstad, and Kendrick in the top of the 9th inning. A 4-3 Salt Lake lead. Tacoma still pounding Vegas 14-2. They're in the top of the 8th inning in Sin City. Portland has added another run. They now lead Sacramento 11-5. They're in the top of the 8th inning. And Fresno has already lost, as we told you, to Colorado Springs 4-3. So Pavkovich coming to home plate for his 2nd at bat of the night. Meiser, his tourist, got 3 ABs, went 0 for 3. He exits. Pavkovich came on in the 6th inning and walked against Mike Schultz. Now he will face Tony Pena. Well, Pavkovich, we told you earlier, the average isn't great, just 214. He has homered 5 times and driven in 15. So ready to face Tony Pena, who goes into the windup, and here comes the first one to Pavkovich. It's a fastball. It's called a strike on the inside corner, and the count is 0-1. Pavkovich is another guy that has been a thorn in Tucson's side this year. 4 for 10 against them. Here's Pena's 0-1 delivery home. Fastball low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Pavkovich with 2 of his 5 home runs and 5 of his 15 RBIs against the Sidewinders. So he has enjoyed hitting off Tucson. First time he has faced Tony Pena. And the 1-1 delivery from the Tucson righty is a check swing roller, left side. Barton charges, picks it up, throws across in plenty of time. And Pavkovich is out, 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning. So here is Darren Erstad now. Erstad is 1 for 4. He is grounded back to the mound, grounded to second, grounded to short, and then singled in the 6th inning with Willits at second base, and Willits was thrown out trying to score by Hairston. So here is Erstad. Apparently there's quite a few Darren Erstad fans down by the dugout as Pena winds and deals, and a fastball misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 4 or 5 guys on their feet down by the Salt Lake dugout. A couple of young ladies as well cheering on Darren Erstad. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. And that's in there with a slider for a strike, and the count now 1-1. Well, either they're Angel fans, they're from South Dakota, or is it North Dakota with Erstad? It is North Dakota. Sorry, that's a big rivalry. I don't want to offend anybody. North Dakota. 1-1 low with a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Or they have really enjoyed Thirsty Thursday. So there's 3 options for you. One of the 3 is right. Esposito votes for number 3. Cast your vote now. 2-1 the count to him. Pena winds, and here's the pitch. That one bounced in front of home plate. Now the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And you wonder if Pena maybe a little keyed up facing Erstad, just tried to put a little too much on it, and bounced it out in front of home plate. Well, one of the guys down there I know, and I know he's an Angel fan. So 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 out of 8 for sure is option A. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Erstad swings and fouls it off to the left, and the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. See the guy down there with the unusually large head? I know him. There's more of them. They're coming from everywhere. They're appearing as if from thin air to root on Darren Erstad. Pena into the motion. Here comes his 3-2 delivery, and that swung on and bounced to first. Carter's got the second hop. He will flip to Pena, who just beats a hustling Erstad to the bag. And now all those folks down behind the dugout will sit down, disappointed that their hero grounded out to first base. 3-1 at the putout, and there's 2 away. So here is Howie Kendrick. And the only drama left in Kendrick's night is can he get his 4th hit? He's already got 3. He's already driven in a run. He's already made 2 very nice defensive plays to help his team. Pena winds and comes home, and Kendrick swings and misses over the top of a slider, and the count 0 balls and 1 strike. Good slider from Tony Pena. That's the pitch that gets the scouts excited when they see that one. Here's the wind. The 0-1 is on the way to the right-handed hitter. Another slider, grounded to short. Drew goes around it, picks it up, throws on the run low. Carter digs it out at first base, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Tucson needs 1 to tie. They trail it 4-3.
Hey, Dex, I've got a little problem.
Shoot.
Well, Monday I'm going to the football game. Tuesday's hockey practice, then I'm going to the hockey game.
Okay.
But, Dex, I really want tickets to the baseball playoff on Wednesday.
Because obviously your week is lacking in sports.
Right, but I can't find any tickets.
I've got 8 reliable ticket brokers.
Nice!
Easy.
Oh, and I'll need a ride to the game.
Here's 5 local taxi companies.
Okay.
But they'll let you turn on sports radio.
Sweet!
Fare thee well, young sportsman.
Dex is the one that gets used for games, tickets, and everything in between. Dex knows.
Wednesdays at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. It's Buffet Barbecue Wednesday.
Now that's mighty interesting.
Partner, if it's a barbecue you like, it's a barbecue you're gonna get. Wednesday, Desert Diamond Casino's buffet is pulling out all the barbecue stops. Yeehaw! Wednesdays at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. It's mouth-watering pulled pork barbecue to specialty fish entrees plus all your favorites.
You know what I'm talking about.
We're talking about barbecue so good, it's worth picking a fight over.
Really? You want to step outside, Pilgrim?
It's incredible incredible barbecue every Wednesday in the buffet at Desert Diamond Casino I-19. Smoked, spicy, thick, delicious barbecue in every style you can think of.
Mighty impressive.
It's Buffet Barbecue Wednesday, only at Desert Diamond Casino I-19 at Pima Mine Road. For buffet hours and more information, call 520-393-2700 or check out the web at DesertDiamondCasino.com.
An enterprise of Ivana Automation.
You're hearing Sidewinders baseball action on Cool 1450.
Salt Lake will turn to their closer, Greg Jones, here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Jones making his 22nd appearance, 2-3 with a 4.30 ERA and 5 saves and 11 opportunities. He has worked 29 in the third inning, given up 24 hits, 14 runs there, all earned. He's walked 10, struck out 28, and the league hitting .224 against him. So Jones will face 6, 7, and 8 in the Tucson order. Carlos Quinton, Brian Barton, and Kenny Perez. Sidewinders with just 4 hits in the ballgame. They trail it 4-3. Quinton stands in 1 for 3. Singleton scored in the 5th inning. And Greg Jones kicks and comes home with a slider that is driven deep but foul down the left field line. That's the second time tonight that Quinton has got a hanging breaking ball and just been a little too quick. You go back to that at bat in the 5th inning. He got one from Mosley and was out in front. Got another one later in the at-bat and singled. This time drives it foul, down in the count, 0-1. Jones with the pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. That was a good fastball, moving away from Quinton, down around the knees. So 0-2, the count to Q. And the pitch, way high with a fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sidewinders have had their bats held in check tonight after they erupted in the Portland series. Jones ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch home. Quinton breaks his bat, hits it softly over the mound towards short. Charging is Smith, throws to first. Quinton is out by a step. Now that was right in on the knuckles of Carlos Quinton, and he hit it hard enough to get it past the mound. And a good play by Smith, alertly charging very hard to throw out Quinton. So 1 away in the 9th inning. Now here's Barton, who has popped up to second, reached on a bunt single, and walked. And I wouldn't be all that surprised to see Barton try and drop down another bunt, to be perfectly honest with you. Just find a way to get on base here in the 9th inning. Put a little doubt in the mind of Greg Jones. Here's the pitch. Barton swings and drives it foul back into the screen. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. With a guy like Jones, you got to believe you just want to plant a seed of doubt. Get a runner on, get something going, make him think about it. He's been successful 5 times in his save opportunities. He's failed 6 times. 0-1 the count. Mathis moving inside. And here's the pitch. Slider swung on and missed. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Saw an article today where the Cardinals have given Jason Isringhausen a couple of days off. They said he needs a mental break after struggling. He's blown 4 saves. Jones has blown 6. Here's the 0-2. Slider in the dirt. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kenny Perez will be next here in the 9th inning. 4-3 Salt Lake. Barton waiting. And Jones ready for the 1-2 delivery. And here it comes. Fastball lined into left field, base hit. So Barton continues his hot hitting ways, a single to left field. And Tucson with a 1-out base runner, another multi-hit game for Barton. So let's add it up for you. Barton has now hit in 12 of his last 15 games, and he has 9 multi-hit games in that span. So his average continues to climb. He's aboard, and now here is Kenny Perez. Kenny could use a hit. He reached on an error in the 3rd inning, grounded into a double play in the 5th, and then dropped down a sacrifice his last time up. Here's the first pitch to him. Low and inside, off the glove of the catcher, Mathis, but he kept it in front of him, and Barton will have to stay at first base. That is a fine play by Mathis. That was a tough ball to handle, and he got his glove on it, and it rolled out in front of him. And Barton, seeing that, decided he was best served to stay put. The count 1 ball and no strikes on Perez. Hammock will be next here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Barden being held on at first by Elward. That opens up the left side for Perez, who now asks for time before seeing the 1-0 pitch from Jones. Tacoma and Vegas are in the bottom of the 8th inning, still 14-2 Rainiers. The 1-0 pitch to Perez, high and outside with a fastball. The count 2 balls and no strikes. Some of the fans have departed here with the Thirsty Thursday portion of the evening wrapped up. Those that are sticking around hoping to see a Sidewinder rally. The 2-0 to Kenny Perez, low and outside. Oh, he called it a strike. Wow. Boy, the umpire waited a long time, enough for Perez to bend over, look at the pitch, look back at the umpire, and then he called it a strike. So now it's 2-1. Boy, I thought that was 3-0. Now it's 2-1. Let's see how Perez responds. Jones with a high set, kicks and deals, and Perez swings and pops it up. Third base side, hustling over is Pavkovich near the seats, and he's going to run out of room as that one's back into about the third row. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Jones wants his catcher Mathis to come out to the mound and talk to him. Now Kenny Perez not saying anything to the home plate umpire, but he still has a look on his face like, you got to be kidding me with that. Not that it necessarily wasn't a strike, just that, Perez literally leaned all the way over the plate, looked down at the pitch, then looked back at the umpire, and then he called it a strike. So now it's 2-2. And the pitch. Low, that one's in the dirt, threw him a changeup. And the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, will Chip Hale roll the dice and send Barden at first base? I don't think he's going to. But we'll see. Barden looked over at Matt Erickson coaching at first as he leads away from the bag. And Jones will toss over and Barden will go back in. Kenny Perez has only struck out 14 times this year. Seems like a big chance to take, though. Don't want to strike him out, throw him out to end the ball game. Jones does take a while to come to home plate. Barden runs, and the pitch is swung on and fouled back into the screen. Well, there you go. Maybe because Jones is a closer and takes a while to get to home plate, Chip decided to send Barden. Now as Barden jogs back to first base, he glances over his shoulder at Chip. Gives him a couple of very quick signs. Kenny Perez awaiting another 3-2 pitch. 1 home run this season for Kenny. It came right-handed. It was in Round Rock in the 9th inning of the game. Barden leads away again. Does not run, and the pitch is hit back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Barden goes to second. He'll stop there. Erstad was trying to goad him into going to third. Barden wouldn't take the bait, and Perez goes back up the middle. So now runners are at first and second, and Hammock is at the plate. Well, that seed of doubt has been planted in Greg Jones' mind. Now, can the Sidewinders capitalize? You know, the interesting part of that is, the first reaction is to say, well, if Barden had been on the move there, he would have gone to third. But with Barden on the move there, the shortstop, Smith, probably would have been covering. That could have turned into a double play. So it probably worked out in Tucson's favor. Now Hammock, who had a big hit earlier in the game, and the first pitch is a slider that is swung on and missed. The count 0-1. Hammock was geared up for the fastball and saw that pitch just fall right off the table. Hammock with a 2-run homer back in the 5th inning that put Tucson in front very briefly at 2-1. Jones with the high set. He kicks and deals to Hammock. Fastball missed the outside corner in the count 1-1. That was close. Chip Hale looks over at Brian Barden at second base. Puts up a couple of hand signals. Perez over at first. Barden the tying run. Perez the go-ahead run. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hammock. Jones checks Barden once. Now the pitch, fastball, chopper, third base side, slowly hit. It's a fair ball. There's no play. Everybody is safe. Oh, a chopper down the third base line, and Pavkovich, I think wisely, was going to wait for it to bounce foul, but when it hit, rather than bouncing foul, it bounced straight up. And when he tried to pick it up, he dropped it. And so everybody is safe. Now the bases are loaded, and Cayaspo is coming up. Well, we'll await the ruling on that. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad play by Pavkovich. He came in and with the condition of his infield thought, that's going to bounce foul. But it bounced straight up in the air. So now they're loaded. Here's Cayaspo, who has reached twice tonight with a walk. And the first pitch is a fastball that's called a strike over the outside corner, and the count 0-1. Oh, and 1 to Cayaspo. A 4-3 game. Hammock is going to be given a single. And the 0-1 pitch. Cayaspo swings, rolls it down the first base line, but foul. And now the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, Cayaspo is certainly a guy that can hit with 2 strikes on him. Tucson, at the very least, is looking for a fly ball here. Something that could bring Barton in from third. 0-2. Bases full of Sidewinders. Cayaspo waiting, and Jones is taking a long look, and now Cayaspo is going to back out of the box. This inning started with Quentin grounding to short. Then Barton singled to left. Perez singled back up the middle. Hammock with an infield single. The 0-2 pitch to Cayaspo. Here it comes. Low, backhanded in the dirt by Mathis, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cayaspo has flied to center and flied to left tonight in addition to the 2 walks. They haven't played around towards left center. A lot of room down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swinging a pop-up, back it out of play. And we'll do it again at 1-2. Well, Cayaspo, we talked about it earlier. You know he'd love to do something here against his former organization. A base hit would extend his hitting streak to 12. It would definitely tie the game, if not, give Tucson the lead. 1-2. Jones set, checks the runner. And the pitch inside, it gets away. Here comes Barton. He will score the tying run. Down to third is Perez. Up to second is Hammock. 4-4 on the wild pitch. And now Tucson can win it. Mathis went down to block it, and it hit right off his shin guard. You could hear it hit the plastic and bounce away. So now Perez at third, Hammock at second base, and the count 2-2 to Cayaspo. Infield is in. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul back over the screen left side. Well, this has been a terrific game. Back and forth all night long between 2 really good teams. Tucson trying to complete a comeback victory. Tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 9th. Jones steps off the rubber. Now he's ready to go. And the 2-2 pitch home, low ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Chris Young is on deck. Young has hit righties much better than lefties, and he is a very tough guy to double up with his speed. Another shot for Cayaspo, though, 3-2. Perez down the line at third. And the pitch, swinging a line drive right center field over his Erstad. He makes the catch. Here comes Perez, tagging, coming to the plate. He is going to score the winning run. And Tucson has won it. 5-4 tonight. 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Cayaspo with a sacrifice fly brings home the winner. And Tucson, for only the 3rd time this year, has beaten the Salt Lake Bees. What a game and what a comeback for Tucson. And Cayaspo will see his winning streak come to an end, but he won't care about that. His 28th RBI of the season gives the Sidewinders the win. They are now 36 and 25, 11 games over 500 for the first time this year. For Tucson in the 9th inning, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man will be left on base. Final totals tonight, 4 runs on 10 hits, 3 errors, and 9 left for Salt Lake. Tucson gets 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and Tucson will leave 6. Winning pitcher is Tony Pena. He's 1-1. Greg Jones Velocity is 2-4. Time of the game was 3 hours and 3 minutes, and 5,032 were on hand to see it. So the Sidewinders win it 5-4. Your final score. When we come back, Greg Esposito will take you through the scoreboard. All of the Major League and PCL scores coming up on Cool 1450.
If you're interested in a Hawaiian vacation, then you'll want to check out morealohaforless.com, Tucson's new site for discounted value-added vacations to all the Hawaiian Islands. At morealohaforless.com, you'll discover unique Hawaiian vacations with departures directly from Tucson. Escape to Hawaii with morealohaforless.com, powered by Worldwide Travel in Tucson, Arizona's #1 choice for Hawaiian vacations. Capture the true spirit of aloha. morealohaforless.com.
Every Wednesday night at Tucson Electric Park this season, it's a free Money Wednesday. That's right. Attend any Wednesday home game and get an envelope containing cash up to $250, or prizes like free tickets and free food and drinks at the ballpark. So buy your tickets today and let us treat you to a baseball game and free cash and prizes just for showing up. Tickets are available now on the Sidewinders official website at TucsonSidewinders.com or by calling 434-1021. That's 434-1021.
Welcome to the Sidewinders Scoreboard Show, brought to you by the Paul Ash Management Company and the Tanca Verde Apartment. Stay tuned for game highlights and scores from around the Pacific Coast League and the Major Leagues, coming up next on your Sidewinders station, Cool 1450.
Welcome back to Tucson Electric Park, where tonight the Tucson Sidewinders defeat the Salt Lake Bees 5-4 in an exciting 9th-inning comeback. This is the Sidewinders Scoreboard Show. I'm Greg Esposito. Let's update you on the scores. We'll start off in the Major League and the National League, as the New York Mets were up in Phoenix to take on the Diamondbacks, and the Mets put a hurting on the Diamondbacks 7-1 as the former Diamondback, Orlando Hernandez, gets the win. Claudio Vargas lost, and Carlos Beltran 15th home run of the season to win for the Mets. Bottom of the 9th in San Francisco, Pittsburgh and San Francisco tied at 4. Moises Alou hit his 8th home run in that game, and we'll update you on it if it goes final before the scoreboard show is over. Milwaukee at home defeats San Diego in 10 innings, a walk-off home run for Bill Hall, his 14th home run of the year. Derek Turnbow gets the win. Josh Barfield hits his 4th home run in the walk for the Padres. Washington at home defeats Philadelphia 5-2. O'Connor to win burritos in the loss. Chad Cordero picks up his 12th save. And the left fielder, Alfonso Soriano, picks up his 23rd home run of the year. Cincinnati defeats the Cubs in Cincinnati 7-1. Bronson Arroyo moves to 8-2 on the year. Glennon Rush falls to 2-6. As Phillips and Ross hit home runs in the win for Cincinnati. Atlanta in Houston to take on the Astros, and Andy Pettit and the Astros get the better of the Braves as they win 7-4. Andy Pettit moves to 5-7 on the year. John Thompson gets the loss. He's 2-6. Brad Liggs picks up his 16th save of the year. Jeff Rancourt and Chipper Jones hit home runs in the loss. Lance Berkman hits home runs number 17 and 18 in the win for the Astros. We head to the American League, where everything is a final. Oakland defeats Cleveland 4-1. Esteban Loaiza picks up his first win of the year. Houston Street picks up his 11th save. Ben Broussard gets his 9th home run in the loss for the Indians. Minnesota defeats Seattle at Safeco Field in Seattle 7-3. Johan Santana picks up his 6th win of the year. Boston defeats New York at Yankee Stadium 9-3. Kurt Schilling improves to 9-2 on the year. Jason Varitek, home run number 6 in the win for the Red Sox. Johnny Damon and Bernie Williams go deep for the Yankees. Baltimore defeats Toronto at Camden Yards 7-5. Perkins the win, Ray the save, his 15th of the year. Detroit defeats Chicago in Chicago 6-2 as Detroit breaks a 2-2 tie in the top of the sixth, scoring 4 runs. Kenny Rogers picks up his 8th win of the season. Placido Polanco, his 2nd home run. Paul Konerko, his 16th in the loss to the White Sox. And in the final game in the majors tonight, Kansas City defeats Texas in a wild one, 16-12. Texas led 11-4 after the top of the third inning. Kansas City scores 4 in the bottom of the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 6 in the seventh. They win at 16-12. Goebel to win. Ian Kinsler a home run in the loss for the Texas Rangers. And a final in San Francisco as the Giants win on a wild pitch as Edgardo Alfonso scores 5-4, the win for the Giants. We head to the Pacific Coast League. We start off in New Orleans as the Zephyrs defeat the Nashville Sound 6-5 as New Orleans puts up 2 in the bottom of the 7th to earn the win. Oklahoma defeats Omaha 5-3. Lee picks up the win. Hernandez the loss. Corey, his 8th save of the year. Hart, his 5th home run for Oklahoma in the victory. Round Rock defeats the Iowa Cubs 3-1. Hurts improves to 6-2 on the year. Scott, his 16th home run for Round Rock. Fresno and Colorado Springs in Colorado Springs. And the Sky Sox win it 4-3 over the Grizzlies. Parker to win. Field his 11th save of the year. Adam Chabala, his 2nd home run in the loss for the Grizzlies. Albuquerque defeats Memphis 18-2 at home. Albuquerque puts up 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, and 4 in the 8th as they roll to the 18-2 victory. Vargas the win, Webb the loss, Michael Colangelo with 5th home run for Albuquerque. A game still in progress in Sacramento as the Portland Beavers lead the Sacramento Rivercats 11-5. 5 runs in the top of the 4th and 4 in the top of the 6th have put Portland ahead 11-5 against the Rivercats. And in Sin City, it's Vegas behind the visiting Tacoma Rainiers 14-4 as Tacoma puts up 10 runs in the top of the 3rd and 4 in the top of the 5th as they lead it 14-4 to the bottom of the 8th. That is your scoreboard update. We'll be back to recap this one and have highlights of this one. You're listening to Sidewinders Baseball on Cool 1450.
Hello, this is Sherry Espinoza, one of the many professionals who work on the Paul Ash Management team here in Tucson. Paul Ash Management Company offers a variety of luxury apartment rentals for every budget and lifestyle. Whatever area of town you're looking for, Paul Ash Management has quality apartments managed by people who care about you. Visit our website soon and tour all of our communities online at paulashmgt.com or stop by and visit any of our communities throughout Tucson for what we like to call the complete package. We know you'll like what you see. For a luxury east side rental, call me at the Tanca Verde Apartments at 886-8469.
If you're looking for premium giveaways, then Saturday nights at Tucson Electric Park are for you. Every Saturday night, the Sidewinders will give away free souvenirs to the first 2,000 fans with a paid admission. This year's highlights include a series of collectible figurines featuring Luis Gonzalez, Connor Jackson, and Stephen Drew, as well as cat nights, t-shirt giveaways, kids' jerseys, and more. Every Saturday home game is a free souvenir Saturday. So get your tickets now by calling 434-1021 or go to TucsonSidewinders.com.
Ball game tonight here at Tucson Electric Park. Sidewinders scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to win by a score of 5-4. It was Salt Lake who struck first in this game tonight with a run in the top of the 1st inning. Adam Bass walked Reggie Willits leading off. And then after a pop-up by Meiser Turris, Darren Erstad grounded back to the mound, advancing Willits to second. Howie Kendrick was up next. He had a base hit to left field, and Salt Lake had a 1-0 lead. It would stay that way until the 5th inning. Not that Tucson didn't have some chances earlier than that. Chris Young had a bunt single with one out in the first inning. Stephen Drew had a sharp line drive, but his tourist caught it. It became a double play. Chris Carter reached second base with one out in the second inning. He was left standing there. Kenny Perez reached third base leading off in the third inning thanks to a throwing error by his tourist, but he never moved. But in the fifth inning, Tucson would go ahead. Carlos Quentin led off with a single. Brian Barden then dropped down a bunt single. But Kenny Perez grounded into a double play, moving Quentin to third. And with 2 outs, Robbie Hammock was at the plate. It's a 1-1 pitch. Curveball hit high in the air to deep left field. Willits is back. He is going to turn. He is going to watch. And it is gone. Robbie Hammock with a 2-run homer above the bullpen in left. And Tucson has taken the lead. It is 2-1. But unfortunately for Tucson, that lead would be very short-lived because Salt Lake was ready to answer back in the sixth inning. This coming against Bass. Nick Gourneau led off with a base hit to start the inning. The next man up was Jeff Mathis. He doubled, and Tucson actually caught a break as the ball bounced on the warning track and skipped into the bullpen. Otherwise, Gourneau would have scored. But with runners at second and third and nobody out, Elward came up. He was hit by a pitch to load the bases. Curtis Pride then hit a ground ball back up the middle. Stephen Drew made a great diving stab of it to start a 6-4-3 double play. But Gourneau scored from third base to tie the game. Casey Smith was the next man up. Bass jumped ahead of him, no balls and 2 strikes. Came back, it was 3-2. And then Bass on ball 4 threw a wild pitch that brought in Mathis from third base. And Salt Lake had the lead 3-2. Well, with Smith at first base, Reggie Willits was coming up next. And whether it's Eric Ibar or Reggie Willits, the leadoff man for Salt Lake this year has been a problem for Tucson, and Willits was a problem for Bass in this at-bat. Bass with a 1-2 pitch, runner going again, swinging a fly ball down the left field line, slicing away from Hairston, falls in fair. Hairston has it roll past him towards the corner. All the way around to score is Smith, and Willits will go to second. It is 4-2 Salt Lake. So Reggie Willits with that double down the left field line puts Salt Lake out in front. Bass would exit after that. Mike Schultz came on. He walked the next man, Pavkovich. And then Darren Erstad had a single to left, but Hairston came up gunning and was able to get Willits at home plate, and that kept it at a 4-2 game. Tucson would make it 4-3 in the sixth inning. Stephen Drew led off with a walk, and then went all the way around to third when Mosley's throw over to first base skipped past Elward and down the line. Scott Hairston struck out looking, but then Chris Carter grounded out to second base. That scored Drew and made it a 4-3 ball game. It would stay that way going to the ninth inning. Carlos Quentin led off in the ninth against Greg Jones and grounded out to short. But Brian Barden singled to left field. Kenny Perez then had a base hit up the middle to put runners at first and second. Hammock was up next and hit a high chopper to third. Adam Pavkovich, who came in the game in the sixth inning, came charging in on the ball and probably thinking he wouldn't have a chance to get Hammock, made what I still think is a smart play, deciding to let the ball bounce, thinking it would kick off into foul territory. I certainly thought it would, and I see games here every day, but the ball hit, and instead of going foul, went straight up in the air. Pavkovich had no play, Hammock was safe, and the bases were loaded with one out. With Alberto Callaspo at home plate, and Greg Jones on the mound, and the bases again loaded with one out. This is what occurred from the arm of Jones. 1-2. Jones set, checks the runner, and the pitch inside. It gets away. Here comes Barden. He will score the tying run. Down to third is Perez. Up to second is Hammock. 4-4 on the wild pitch. Greg Jones, we talked about it earlier, he has blown a lot of saves. You want to put some runners on and at least try and plant a seed of doubt in his mind. And Tucson took advantage there of the Jones wild pitch, scored the tying run. Callaspo was still at the plate. And, of course, Callaspo, a pretty good man to have up in a clutch situation. Callaspo, working the count, fouling off a couple of pitches, finally got one he liked. It looked like a base hit off the bat. Didn't end up being a base hit, but it was certainly good enough. Another shot for Callaspo, though, 3-2. Perez down the line at third. And the pitch, swinging a line drive right center field over his Erstad. He makes the catch. Here comes Perez, tagging, coming to the plate. He is going to score the winning run. And Tucson has won it. 5-4 tonight. 2 in the bottom of the ninth inning. And Callaspo with a sacrifice fly brings home the winner. And Tucson, for only the third time this year, has beaten the Salt Lake Bees. And it's a big win for Tucson as they go 11 games over 500, 36-25, and barring a miraculous comeback by Vegas tonight at home against Tacoma. And it's going to have to be really miraculous now because it's 18-4 Tacoma in the ninth inning. Tucson will have a 2.5 game lead on Vegas. Sacramento was losing to Portland, and if Sacramento loses that game, the Rivercats will fall back below 500. They will fall 6 games off the pace. Really a terrific baseball game here tonight. Back and forth, and Tucson with 2 in the bottom of the ninth wins it. And again, they are now 36-25 on the season. Everybody take a deep breath. This was just the first of 4. Game 2 in the series is coming up tomorrow. We'll come back and tell you about that right after this.
Cool 1450 cares about Tucson. The YWCA of Tucson creates opportunities for women's growth, leadership, and power, and works to eliminate racism through programs such as leadership development, girls' technology education, counseling, job preparation, and financial education. For more information, contact the YWCA at ywcatucson.org. This message brought to you by Borst Automotive. Automotive repair on time, done right. And Cool 1450.
When it comes to retirement planning, think about an individual retirement account from Farm Bureau Financial Services. Contact Michael Vince or George Vince in Tucson to find out how an IRA can allow you to defer taxes until you retire. You have big plans for retirement. To help you get there, think about Farm Bureau Financial Services and contact Michael Vince or George Vince in Tucson. Farm Bureau Financial Services. More than you think. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company.
Leave Cool 1450 on after the game tonight. Every weekday morning, wake up with Alan Michaels in the morning on Cool 1450. Nobody has more fun every morning. Plus, Alan plays great oldies to start your day. Good times and great oldies every morning with Alan Michaels on Cool 1450.
Game 2 in the series is coming up tomorrow here at Tucson Electric Park. It's a 7 o'clock first pitch. Jeff Haberlow is going to make the start for the Bees. He's 0-2 with an ERA of 5. Edgar Gonzalez will get the start for Tucson. Edgar is 2-4 with an ERA of 3.57. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air with the On Deck Show beginning, at 6:50. Oh, a great ball game here tonight. Once again, the final total, Tucson 5 runs on 7 hits. No errors, they left 6. Salt Lake with 4 runs on 10 hits, 3 errors, they left 9. Tony Pena is the winning pitcher tonight. He evens his record at 1-1. Greg Jones, the loss, he's now 2-4. No save in the ball game. It was played in 3 hours and 3 minutes, and 5,032 were on hand to see it. So the Sidewinders take Game 1 of the series. Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Hope that you will join us then. Until that point, this is Ryan Radke speaking for Sean Thomas back in our Cool 1450 studios, and Greg Esposito assisting us in the booth tonight, saying thanks very much for listening and inviting you to join us tomorrow. 7 o'clock first pitch. The On Deck Show gets us going at 6:50. Good night from Tucson Electric Park.
Sidewinders Baseball has been brought to you by Singular Wireless, Casino del Sol, The Maverick, the King of Clubs, Dex Media, Century 21, La Feria Suiza Mexican Restaurant, Compass Insurance, Quick Mart, Hyundai, Worldwide Travel, Church's Chicken, Incy Prince, Desert Diamond Casino, America Online, Film Creations, Sedona Springs, the Tanca Verde Apartments, and the Paul Ash Management Company, Eastman Distributing, Simon Is Car Wash, the Premier Hotel Group, Blue Cross Blue Shield, A Atlas Discount Storage, Chapman Automotive. Listen to every Sidewinders game, home and away this season on your home for Sidewinders Baseball. Cool 1450.